All right. Hello, 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 and welcome. Let me give a shout out in the chat to everyone that's here. What's good? My Zombie Inside, welcome. Fabricus, what's up? What's up, big dog? How's it going? Having a great day, man. We're having a good day. We're back and ready to cover more news. Let me get my camera a little bit bigger here. Let's go up to this size. Yes, this looks good. Perfect mundo. All right. We got My Zombie Inside. I thought we already had the final update. Not yet. Not yet. We still need the hotfix, right? We still need the hotfix. We had the last, the June update is the update, but we got the hotfixes that are coming to fix the bugs in the game, right? We have to leave the game in a playable state, of course, and without too many glitches, I hope. My Zombie Inside, Cammy, Godly Drips. Yeah, we did have the final update. The final, let's change this title to Final Hotfix. I'll change that. Just that way I don't confuse too many people. And title is changed in 3, 2, 1, done. There we go. Mike Man, what's good? Wait. Shadow Hunter. Rip that half of the Bungie we lost. Dude, that sucks, man. That really sucks, but there's a lot of people weighing in their thoughts and opinions on that one. By the way, good Destiny news. I can't say much about the team. It's working on a D1 RPCS3 port. Really? Really, Wendigo? A D1 RPCS3 port? What is an RPCS3? What is an RPCS3 port in video game terms? It refers to a game that has been adapted or modified to run using the RPCS3 PlayStation 3 emulator rather than being an official port. It's a PlayStation 3 emulator? The hell? We going back to a PS3, dog? You got to explain more to me, Wendigo Music. What, a PS3 emulator? What does this even mean? We can't even play Destiny on PS3 right now. The news of Sony saying they don't trust Bungie with a high budget is a lot different than wanting a D3 at all. Yeah, it hurts. What's the box with the lights called behind you? This is a hypercube. Yes, look at that. Look at it. You can buy one. Use my code Lucky10p and save some money on your purchase of a hypercube. They work great. I mean, this thing's been behind me for, I don't even know, a few years now. All I know is if anything happens to Allison Lures, we riot. She is safe. She is working on Marathon now, so not sure what that entails for her. KBG with the tier 1 sub and 49 months. Thank you very much. What's good, Real DJ Crazy? Yep, Allison Lures is safe. I mean, I guess she lost her Destiny role, but she's safely working on Marathon, which is, I mean, I don't know. Technically 50 months. That is a bold-faced lie. 49 is not 50, okay? Just ask Hangin' Frank. He's been alive since 1950. What's good, Rain? How's it going? What do you have cooking today? Oh, we look at all these tabs. You see these tabs? Look at these tabs. Look at these tabs. That is delicious news right there. That's good stuff right there. Just look at this.
Whether we wanted it or not, we've stepped into a war with the Cabal on Mars. So let's get to taking out their command one by one. Valus Ta'arik. From what I can gather, he commands the siege dancers from an Imperial land tank outside of Rubicon. He's well protected. But with the right team, we can punch through those defenses, take this beast out of the way and rip on Freehold.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. It's time. Do you have any plans on what kind of games you want to make? What kind of content in the future once you're done with Destiny? I was thinking about just playing a bunch of like Gooner games. You know, I was like, Destiny was cool, but Gooner games, that's where it's at for me. And Nether, because there's things that Nether, every time I log on Steam, it says he's online playing a different Gooner game. So I was like, I mean, if Nether's gonna play them all day, every day, maybe I'll just join him and play some. So since Nether is #1 Gooner game enthusiast, then I guess we'll be jumping in a ship and playing that a bit. Yep. I don't know, man. I don't have any exact plans. All I know is that I'm going to continue covering the news of gaming news first and foremost. I actually am working on a big video about this topic. The big video about this topic is that I want to take the experiences that we had with Destiny and I want to try and use the channel and use the audience and use my voice to try to talk about these same issues that we were plagued with for other games and for the larger games industry in hopes that no other dedicated game community has to go through what we went through, the Destiny 2 players. Like we're talking about, severe mismanagement, corporate greed, like scummy monetization tactics, right? Calling these things out in other games, in other spaces. So that way, in some tiny semblance, the death of Destiny 2 can be North Star to these other games. And maybe like, I don't know, just like that way Destiny 2 isn't just dead and we're all just salty about it. Like there's something like, okay, you know what? We're going to learn these lessons from Destiny 2. And so I want to carry that over from Destiny 2 into my future work in the games industry, talking about these topics. And then secondly, I want to carry over the culture of Destiny 2 into these news videos. So I have these funny sound bits. Obviously, I've been using them. So I got like
Guardian down.
You know what I'm saying? So whenever we read something sad or if someone dies, not like a real person dying, like we're not going to do that. That would be crazy. We're not going to do a Guardian down if we find out that, someone at Bungie passes away or something. Like that's insane. But, if it's a humorous moment in time when we're reading an article about, Asha Sharma gets fired as the CEO of Xbox, like what the hell?
Guardian down.
It's like that's more, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we can bring the culture and the things of Destiny forward in our future content forever, And in that way, Destiny kind of doesn't die in some ways, right? Destiny will always live in the hearts of the people that really played it and in the culture that will permeate beyond Destiny 2's death. So that's my happy, that's like trying to be as positive about it as possible. So that's the game plan. And that's how we'll continue to pursue news and various different topics in the future. So I'm looking forward to it. Truly, I'm looking forward to it. I wish I could play more Destiny 2. Of course, that would be the dream. But unfortunately, it's ran its course and I'm still logging in and playing regularly, but just not as much because, it's the last update. No more updates. Yep. The last hotfix is being delayed, not update, the last hotfix. Do we know how long Monument of Triumph lasts? Forever. Forever. Yes. Kanye West was just performing a concert in my hometown, believe it or not. It was crazy. A lot of people were going to that. Right? Tons of people. Is it true that Aztecross is working on his own new game? Maybe. I don't know. I was thinking would be an interesting game. I was thinking about this the other day. I was put onto this new category of games that I had never heard of that were called boomer shooters. I know it sounds insane, but what was that game called? Not Doom, but boomer shooter. What was it called? List off some of those games that we were talking about before, the boomer shooter games. Dusk, yeah, Dusk. Dusk was one. Ultra Kill. Ultra Kill is the one that's doing really good. This actually blew my mind though. Do you guys want to understand why these guys are interested in making games? So this game right here, Dusk.
You finally.
This game right here, look at this. Look at the graphic quality of this. How many copies of Dusk were sold lifetime? These are the boomer, dude. Someone could make a Destiny game as a boomer shooter game, and probably with a lot lower budget. The problem is, are people gonna catch on to it? Can you believe this game sold 656,000 copies? 656,000 copies? And you know what's crazy about this? I was looking into this because this blew my mind. This game, look at the game's population. Its all-time peak was 900 people. Yeah, it did. It's been out since, look, it's been out since like 2017. Or no, I guess it came out in 2018. Like, just understand the fucking... How much money does the game cost? And then how much revenue would it have generated, gross revenue then, lifetime? Like, this shows you why people would be interested in making some games, because they be making games. This made $13 million. This game right here made $13 million. Can you believe that? Now, obviously, it's about the time, right? The time the game came out was before there's a crazy race for shooter games now. This game made $13 million. Million. It's insane, right? Dude, I got deep down this crazy rabbit hole the other day. Sometimes I start researching things after hours when I'm not streaming, and I get deep down the rabbit hole. One of the guys that made this, you guys aren't going to believe this. One of the guys that made this also made another game, Ultra Kill, which is like the same style game. And he also made another game, which was the game that was called Iron Lung. And ironically, Markiplier, the YouTuber, played the game Iron Lung and was like, this game's awesome. Let's adapt this game into a movie. So he hired the dev from the video game that he played on his YouTube channel, and they adapted the video game into the movie, and then they launched it into the theaters, and it did incredible. It made a ton of money. Iron Lung, you guys hear of Iron Lung, right? Everyone heard the news story about that one because that was big headlines. How much money did Iron Lung make at the box office, and how much did it cost to make? Like, what the? I was sitting there thinking to myself, this is an insane rabbit hole right now. Like, imagine how much of a gangster you are if you're Markiplier and you straight up play a video game and you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's make this whole thing into a movie. And then you do, and then it's mad successful. This game cost $3 million to make from Markiplier. He spent $3 million making it, and the box office was $51 million. Wow. That's crazy. Isn't that nuts? It's like, dude, people out there, they're doing some crazy stuff, dude. That's awesome. So anyways, the whole point is that there's clearly a big market for these games. You can make a lot of money with some pretty simple games. Did you see Mecha Chameleon recently? What is Mecha Chameleon's Twitter account? Let's see this. It is Le Morion 1224. They sold 10 million copies of this game, dude. 10 million copies of this game. Holy. That's why a lot of people are interested in this right now. People realize that it's like an indie developer's meta right now. The indie guys are really killing it. They're making games that are really fun, and people are playing games kind of like how their TikTok attention is, right? Where it's like scroll, 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 scroll. And now it's play game, new game, new game, new game, new game, new game. The next week, this game will be like irrelevant or something, right? Maybe not next week, but maybe like 3 months from now, no one's going to talk about it, right? but it doesn't matter because they already sold 10 million motherfucking copies. So these guys are filthy rich now. You know what I'm saying? These guys are millionaires, right? So like that's how it's going. That's the new strat for the social media thing, for the games thing. It's like new game, new game, new game, new game, and the indie devs are winning, but also there's a lot of them that are crashing and burning. Let's be real. It's not like they're all just crushing it immediately. Your avatar is literally a blank canvas. It's a great game. I bought it. I really like it. I think it's an awesome idea. I don't know that it like I don't think it competes against AAA though. Sometimes people have this weird idea where they're like, "Oh, this game, like this is what Bungie needs to do. Like they need to like make games that people want to play and stuff." And it's like, I feel like there's like businesses that are like doing things like what CS:GO does and like League of Legends and like these AAA games. And then there's like they're doing their own thing and like the indie devs can't really compete at that realm. Like you can't just like in a garage make fucking CS:GO, right? Like it's too much, right? It's not going to work that way. But you know, there's a semblance of that there where it's like make the games that people want to play, but the AAA like those super big like a Destiny 3 isn't going to be made by fucking my zombie inside Nether and Stash my Ash. Those three guys in the chat and Lawsuit Larry funding it, right? These guys are not going to make a Destiny 3. These four people, right? It's just not possible. All right, here we go. We got our first news story of the day. Lock in, chat. Lock in. It is go time. The end is near, Guardians. Bungie has announced a delay to this week's TWID and the Tuesday update, which, by the way, has that even come out yet? Has the TWID come out? It's Sunday right now. Nope. It hasn't come out. There's no TWID yet. It was supposed to come out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Still no TWID. So I guess maybe Monday, Tuesday TWID, Wednesday TWID. Who's even writing this TWID? Everyone got laid off. The janitor is writing this. They had to delay the patch. They had to delay the TWID. And this is probably going to be the last patch then, whatever this is. So whatever we find after this, that's the forever cheese. That's the cheese forever cheese. Whatever the meta is, that's the forever meta. Titan, Hunter, Warlock, Solar, this, that, whatever it may be. That's the forever meta. Once we get the final hotfix. And really more importantly than this, the question that I'm asking is Destiny 2 even going to be playable? Are we going to be able to, like, is there going to be things that happen and glitches and exploits? Like, look how crazy the community is. We've had times where cheaters can do things like crash your game and stuff. We've had the cheats have been released to everyone too, by the way. They're just completely free. You don't have to pay a subscription anymore. So the cheaters are going crazy. They're going buck wild in the Crucible. And the clips are honestly kind of sad at this point. Like, you wish people could at least appreciate the death of the game. You know, can we like have a statute of limitations, like no cheating in this game until, October 1st or something, right? I don't know. We obviously the cheaters, they're not playing by any rules. But it would be nice. It would be nice if we could play the game as intended. Because as it stands right now, knowing how crazy the Destiny 2 community is, I could imagine there being some extremely broken thing found a month from now, 2 months from now, you name it. And once it's public and known, then, I mean, that's all there is then, right? Like that's just the new meta. And we'll see what happens. I know that Bungie, they tried to plan around this a little bit, right? They wanted to have the June 9th update launch and then give a couple hot fixes to sort of sift through the situation, right? After maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 hot fixes, everything would be patched up and good. And then Bungie could, obviously they're going to be laid off. They've been laid off. Then they could, leave the office and go work on other things. And Destiny 2 just is left kind of like how Destiny 1 is, right? But the thing that's important about this is that if you actually go look at the official Bungie server status, The official Bungie server status, dude. Oh man, it says official at Destiny the game, Marathon the game. Eventually they're gonna take Destiny the game out of that. Dude, that's gonna be so sad. There's times here where they mention Destiny 1 getting maintenance. Even like all these years later, they're still doing maintenance on Destiny 1. That's crazy, right? Like, look at this. On June 23rd, they had to bring all the websites down and Destiny 1 might be impacted. There's been times when there's been weird bugs and issues many, many years down the line. So the spaghetti code of Destiny is going to be problematic. Right? There's going to be a point in time where something's bugged in this game and there ain't nobody there to fix it. And it's going to be weird. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when we run into those speed bumps, how Bungie will handle it. Like, clearly there's going to be someone that's like on Marathon that could jump ship and go fix something in Destiny, right? But then the other issue is like, what happens when Marathon dies? I mean, have you seen Marathon lately? God damn. This thing is under 10K on the weekend. Dude, Marathon's about to... Dude, this shit is so over, dude. This shit is so over. This is more over than Joe Blackburn fighting an Overload champion. This is done. This is cooked. On the weekend, with Cryo Archive out, we got 9K players. God damn. What do you think about it? The end is near, chat. The last patch, the last hotfix, and the last TWID, it's all coming to an end. It's crazy. It's crazy even to think about it. And we're entering into this uncharted territory. This what's next territory. What could possibly break? What could go wrong? And when it does, what will happen then? I cross my fingers and I hope that we don't find something that ruins Destiny 2, because it would be nice for some random Yahoo out there to log in this Christmas, let's say. There's some crazy deal, you know, Sony's doing some like, you know, $5 for the entirety of Destiny deal, right? This Christmas. It would be nice to know that Yahoo, that Blueberry, could load in for their $5 and play it all, you know, even if it doesn't make sense. Right? They could just play it all. It works, and appreciate the magic that is Destiny. And I hope that's the way it is. I hope that the game is playable by Christmas. Like, that's where we're at with it, right? Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Crazy stuff. All right, next news story. Bungie said that they regretted this. This is now a viral clip shared on Destiny 2 Twitter under the category of Destiny 2, that is. And it says this very video clip killed Destiny 2 PvP forever. It has never recovered after this point. What is that? In 2022, you can see the clip here. You have Giggs facing off, and he jumps in the air, right? He's using a Warlock, and he goes to snipe down on someone, and he aims right dead center on their head. Right? And when he fires the shot on their head, like you couldn't possibly miss, you're shooting the bullet downward. Look at that. The crosshair is right on the guy's dome. The shot misses, right? And the reason why the shot misses is because Bungie added a mechanic to the Crucible called airborne effectiveness. And airborne effectiveness means when you are in the air, your guns are less accurate. And certain weapons or subclasses or exotics you can wear can increase your airborne effectiveness, making your weapons more and more accurate. But you have to, you have to use the proper stuff to make that work. If you don't, then when you shoot your weapons in the air, you might as well just not. Right? You might as well just not, because the bullets are just going to fly everywhere you don't want them to go. And a lot of people really revolted at this. And DMG actually said a post about this. Let's see this. This guy said in response to this, if you have good aim, you'll continue to hit shots while in air. Well, that obviously didn't land very well. DMG himself, right, a representative for Bungie, said, regret. This was a point of regret. That's pretty crazy. Obviously, there's been a lot of miscommunication and unfortunate things that happen, so maybe he was told one thing and the opposite was true, but yeah, this is definitely not like, if you aim and correctly, your shots don't land, which is definitely annoying. Bungie has mitigated the issue a little bit with like certain exotics have increased AE or certain weapons, and there's even mods you can put on. So eventually the problem got better, but at first it was pretty brutal. A lot of people were used to the gunplay of like running and jumping in the air, and jumping in the air over people's head was like a part of the skill gap. And it was unfortunately especially helpful for mouse and keyboard players against controller players, because when you're on a thumbstick, you can't move around as fast. Like a mouse and keyboard can whip around like in an instant. So a thumbstick a little bit slower in general, right? It's jumping over the controller players' heads was absolute. It was bullying at a certain point. It was bullying. And yeah, so Bungie wanted to level the playing field between the mouse and keyboard players and the controller players, and their efforts to do so was to implement AE and increase the aim assistance on weapons and stuff. So this has been the bane of a lot of mouse and keyboard players, though. The bane of a lot of PC players right here. They hate this. They look back at this and they say, you know, that was that was the moment Destiny 2 died for PvP, at least. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. Michael Norris says, LOL, my comment got removed. Your mods are fucking losers. Hey, Michael, hey. Don't make me Michael Norris. Oh, Michael Norris, 6224. I'll whoop your ass, boy. You better take it back right now. Your comment was auto-modded too. I don't know what you said in the chat, but it was auto-modded. All right, here we go. Here we go. Bungie's narrative director is safe from the layoffs. We're talking about Allison Lures, and I believe they're attributed with writing the narrative that was the final shape, which was absolutely goated. The Edge of Fates narrative and Renegades. Her LinkedIn has been updated with the new narrative director role at Bungie. So looks like they're probably working on Marathon now. Now, a lot of people celebrate this. A lot of people are big fans of Allison Lures and their writing. Not everyone in the replies, though. This person said, so the one that gave us Edge of Fate stays? They got absolutely jumped in the replies. 69 replies to 52 likes. Oh my God. The top comment says, self-report. The narrative was not the problem in the Edge of Fate. In fact, it was probably the best part of that expansion and was definitely the best way to restart the story. She also worked on Final Shape, in case you just like to LARP. So there it is. They're roasting them. Now, I have mixed opinions about this. I will say that what the narrative was for Edge of Fate was actually pretty good. Like the Fate saga, like what we were getting into, right? When it comes to Guardians make their own fate, or do they, right? Like that's actually kind of an interesting approach, I think, for post the Final Shape. Obviously, it doesn't stack up as well as fighting the big bad witness. And even now, post narrative, if you look at like why everyone got really sad, it was because of kind of that same like narrative idea, which is a bigger, more badass villain, which is the Winnower now. And clearly Edge of Fate, it was meant to lead up to that point. Like they were like, we're going to get there. Just, you got to wait a little bit, you know, a little bit of foreshadowing, maybe a little bit of narrative building. building up the narrative from the beginning. And unfortunately, we didn't get there, right? Unfortunately, we didn't get that winnower storyline that we would have liked. And I do think that, I mean, if we could go back in time, obviously everyone's going to do things differently. If we could go back and kind of lead with more winnower heavy discussions, maybe that would have been better. I don't know. Let me know what you think about Edge of Fate's narrative specifically and the narrative director saying. I think that when you do look at the narrative itself, it is good, but maybe the delivery was off. Maybe that's part of what it was. Maybe it was too slow to get people interested. It's hard to describe. Right? It's hard to describe exactly what went wrong. And there is an interesting element of everyone pointing fingers at Edge of Fate and saying that was trash. But when you do point it fingers at Edge of Fate and say that was trash, you are talking about like, you know, I don't know, 10 different things. And maybe not all 10 things were exactly a 0 out of 10, right? Like we can at least agree that Matter Spark was, you know, 2 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 10, you know. You can look at other elements like the narrative, right? Maybe the narrative was better than a 2 out of 10. Obviously, power leveling, we can say that was a 0 out of 10. The new weapons, you know, all the other new stuff that was brought into the game, the new planetary destination, you could rate it all. It isn't, I don't think that we should say that every single thing in Edge of Fate was exactly a 0 out of 10. It was the worst in every way, shape, or form. There was just the bad outweighed the good, in my opinion. That's where I land with it. But let me know what you think about this. Apparently, they're going to be writing some stuff for Marathon, which is, I mean, we'll see how that goes. Next up, Matterspark. Yeah, Matterspark was absolutely cooked. Such a bad idea. There is hope for a Destiny 3 for one reason and one reason alone, and that is corporate greed. These games print money, and Sony, they like money as much as it seems like they don't with projects like Concord and I don't know, 10,000 different sword slop games that were revealed in PlayStation State of Play. Those aside, they do like money. And these live service games, look at this. This is the PlayStation Store recurring and diverse content. So, stable base of revenue from major franchise titles with a large share of ongoing content. You can see these live service games here, right? Oh my God, look at how much revenue these things are pulling over. Holy crap. Yep. Yep. That's what I'm saying. These things print money. So the reason why all these game companies are trying to make these live service games is because they're just more lucrative, right? And when the IP is established and the universe is created and people like it, they want more of it, right? Like, I think we all watched the first Lord of the Rings movie and we're like, I want more. And then we watched the second Lord of the Rings movie and we're like, I want more. And then even the third one, I was like, you know what? That was a great ending, but I want more, you know? And then it just keeps going on and on and on, right? It's like you always want more when you really, really like the universe, when you like the characters, you like the story. It's fun to see it go forward, right? And that's what live service is. It's just more and more and more of the thing that you like. And so, not too surprised that it's doing this well, but that's why Sony has now reinvested back into live service games. And that doesn't mean we're getting a Destiny 3 specifically, but if they're committed to, you know, making money with live service games, that's a good option, right? Like that's one that definitely that pulls some money. We'll see what happens, man. Quite the crazy time though. It's crazy that we get on one hand no green light for a Destiny 3 so far. We're having Bungie pitch incubation projects. Those are two things that are true. And the third thing is that we know Sony wants live service games. It's like, you know, it's all the stars are lined up. Let's do this. You know, let's make this happen. I hate this timeline, Lonacy. Yeah, rip. Lonacy, thank you for the Prime sub, 19 months. Sky Champ, thank you for the sub. W's in the chat for Lonacy. W's in the chat for Sky Champ. W's in the chat for KBG. Appreciate the subs. Thank you very much. All right. Ooh. Oh, it's trouble now. Paul Tassi's back once again. We're chirping. We're chirping. He did again. What did I do? We're chirping about Marathon. There won't be a D3 until it finds a way to make development cheaper. Sadly, it will probably be AI. You know what? I have actually having a new opinion about AI. And listen, people in the chat, they're going to cancel me. They're going to roast me. But the way that the guys at the very, very top are talking about AI, the guys who are actually like responsible for it happening, you've got the Tim Sweeneys and the Asha Sharmas. They actually present it in a way that doesn't seem like, evil stealing from the artists type of vibe. They're like, Tim Sweeney is like, we're going to take away the tedious tasks from the devs. Like, instead of sitting in, your dev toolkit, whatever the fuck it is you're doing, right? And making every little blade of grass, right? You just like AI generate it with Unreal Engine 6 GPT or whatever, right? And you can just like, it'll take away the tedious, simple things. So that way you can focus on the interesting things, which are like complex mechanics, Like, I don't think AI, I mean, it could, I guess, but I don't think AI is going to be able to come up with like raid-like mechanics, right? Or at least maybe if it can, it's not going to make sense at first. I don't know. You know what? I don't ever want to challenge AI because apparently AI will just fucking do it all. But at least let the creative people come up with the creative challenges and let the AI do the tedious, stupid shit like making blades of grass and like printing buildings and skyboxes or something, right? Like it's an interesting element that like Bungie will have like hundreds and hundreds of artists to make these skyboxes and these environments, and they look incredible. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the environments in Destiny 2 are beautiful. I'll sometimes I'll wander around and be like, hey, god damn, looking up at the sky in Destiny 2, right? It's great, but is it millions and millions and millions of dollars great? Is it great, but we don't get any new strikes or any new Gambit content or any new, 2 raids, 2 dungeons a year? Great. Nah, I mean, I would definitely like some new strikes more than like a pretty skybox. Or, what I'm saying, we could take the budget towards that stuff and allot it to more strikes, more Gambit maps, more Crucible maps, more, raids and dungeons, etc. More subclasses, new darkness subclass, right? All of this is doing is basically reallocating funds and resources to things that enhance the entertainment value of the game, right? The goal of AI in video games, at least as far as I'm perceiving it right now, by listening to Tim Sweeney, the literal guy who is going to make it happen, whether you like it or not, the evil billionaire, evil or lovable, I don't know, pick your side, but that's what he's describing it as, and then Asha Sharma, she's the CEO of Xbox. She says stuff like AI is only meant to solve problems. It's a problem solving tool. So if you have a problem and if AI can solve it, then do it. AI is just if you have a problem and AI can't solve it, then that's human. That's where the humans come in. You know what I'm saying? That's what their people do the things, right? It's like the people do the things that AI can't do, but AI does the tedious things. I mean, that makes kind of sense to me. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, chat? For every AI generated blade of grass, a real blade of grass doesn't get to grow though. Yeah. You know what I was thinking about this though? Like, look, this is going to be my most unpopular opinion. No one clip this. Everyone, listen, if you see this clip on Twitter, it was a joke. It was a joke. It was a prank. I was held at gunpoint. All right. I was held at gunpoint. I was forced against my will to make this. Okay. Now, I had to increase the layer size here, right? So like, look, I had to increase the layer size because the image was too small. Now I made the canvas size. So technically I'm using a digital tool that is going to, just fill this whole area in, right? So this digital tool just saved me. How much time did it save me? Let's say I took the paint tool and I do this, you know, and I sit here and I sit here and I mean, like, wait, just guys, wait, it'll get done eventually, you know? It's like, all I'm saying is like, it's just tedious for no reason, right? Is this not just tedious for no reason? Like, I could just do this. Like, I just say, like, the tools get more powerful, right? Eventually, when you first had a paint canvas, right? You had a canvas there and you had to paint on it like with physical art. You would have to do that. There's no paint bucket. There's no this. Like, this isn't an option, right? This isn't a thing you can do. So like, you had to do that initially. You had to actually do the manual work. But now we have these tools. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I feel like there's some tedious shit that could maybe be done. And it's like, is it the end of the world? I don't think so. I don't know. Stealing from artists is not cool though. Let's definitely not do that. Let's do as little of that as possible. Let's let the artist be super creative though. Let's build more powerful tools. Does that make sense? Does any of that make sense? I don't know. I give up. Anytime I talk about AI, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get canceled again on Twitter. AI is creating more problems than it's solving, thanks to the dark side of human nature. Unfortunately, yeah. You know what's really crazy too? We were looking at AI in games right now and in graphic design because that's like our area of expertise, right? Like, it's like there's so much crossover right here, graphic design and video game development. But I went and looked at AI from another area of the world. It's crazy, dude. There are so many. I was looking at music, right? There are so many AI music songs being created, music like fake musicians, albums being AI generated. Oh my God. Have you seen this lately? AI epidemic in Spotify. Yeah, like this is crazy. AI, they're making AI music now, dog. They're making lots of it, like tons of it, and it's doing well. That's the worst part about it. It's doing well. People are listening to AI music and they don't even know it. It's insane, right? It's crazy. This is the craziest psyop ever. So if you think AI is really bad in graphic design, which I think that's probably the most egregious example because it literally steals from the artists. Like, it's probably the worst. Graphic design. And then if you look at it, video game development, pretty bad. Stealing jobs maybe soon, if not already. And then you got music is pretty crazy. They're not technically stealing music from other people, I think. I mean, maybe it is if it's doing the whole like ripping off other. It probably is, right? It probably, I don't know. But anyways, I just found it fascinating because it's an everyday conversation that everyone's having is like, what about AI and this AI this and AI that, and there's a new controversy every day with AI, I swear. But let's cover this right now. Oh no, we're back again talking about Marathon, and yeah, it ain't gonna hold up. This is the game that is meant to keep Bungie alive right now. The pressure on Bungie's Marathon after Destiny 2's death is insurmountable, meaning Marathon will be the last game that Bungie works on, it would seem. Bungie is going to be crushed because the game's not producing enough. We've been looking at the charts, less than 10,000 people now, and it's only going to get worse. Pretty soon here, it'll be 8,000, 7,000, you name it, right? Like, the season isn't even halfway through. It's bad. And if you don't know, a lot of the veteran people that were working on Destiny 2, some of them left. Some of them got migrated over into Marathon, which I think the idea was, if we take these industry experts and these veterans and we put them on this project, that'll give it a better chance of success, possibly. I don't know if that's what the outcome's going to be. We do know that Allison Lures, who was the narrative director for the Final Shape and the Fate saga, they're presumably on Marathon now because they're still at Bungie. This guy, he said, layoff round 3, yet I am still at Bungie after 26 years. Mourn the loss, then we stand up for tomorrow. So, meaning he's still there. He survived another round of layoffs, and now they're working full force on Marathon, it would seem. I think it's going to be too much, though. I don't think they're going to be able to save it. And the reason why is because I just don't know how much they have left to even experiment with at this point. Marathon was never supposed to be here. It stands to reason that after 11 years, Bungie would want to work on a new IP, and bringing back an old IP, updated for present day, seemed like a fine concept given how old the original was, and I actually have a little bit of pushback towards this. I would say that even though you might want to work on a new IP, in an industry that is wildly competitive and live service games are dying left and right, they're dropping like flies. Launching a new IP right now is probably the worst thing you could do, especially in the hyper competitive AAA shooter space. We've seen a a Christmas list of games die recently. Highguard, Concord are the most prolific, but there's countless others that came in, whether they're shooter games or live service games, and immediately flopped right off the rip. Splitgate was an interesting one. Spellcasters, dude, so many. It is such a bad time. And although I will say, if you created a completely separate team that didn't deter from your existing 11-year project, it's not necessarily a bad play because, you know, in worst case scenario, like where we're at right now, you would have another game that can carry you. The problem is that you don't want your worst case scenario to be your weaker game that's carrying you, right? You want to be the worst case scenario is the new thing that you launched and failed and died, and then you just focus back on the main thing. And unfortunately, the opposite happened. They killed Destiny 2, and now they're going full steam ahead on Marathon. Sure, it can certainly be debated if Marathon being revived after all this time as an extraction shooter was the right call, which I would say no, it wasn't. Marathon should have been revived as a campaign first and foremost. And then after completing maybe a really elaborate, really cool campaign, there would be an extraction shooter tacked on the end. I think that would have sold multiple millions of copies, maybe. It depends on the art style, perhaps, but I think that would have maybe been the better option. But, you know, we are looking back now, and, you know, it's kind of easy to look at something after the fact and say, yeah, that was bad. Just do this instead. So it's hard to say with 100% certainty that it would have been a success, but I do think it would have been better. It was trend chasing, and unlike the Bungie projects that had come before, namely all had a single player story campaign, but as a side project alongside the continuation of Bungie's main IP, Destiny, it seemed like it could slot right in. And while it is trend chasing, it should be said that Bungie has been doing trend chasing from the beginning. They actually haven't really been the most innovative or trend setting company, in my opinion. I'll start off from the beginning. Their first ever game was a game called Gnop, and it's Pong spelled backwards. Like, if you talk about lack of creativity, I don't think there's any better example than that. It played like the game Pong, but with a few more mechanics, and it was just Pong spelled backwards. So, yeah. And then Halo obviously pushed the boundaries quite a bit, but it wasn't like the first person shooter ever. And that thing, you know, caught on like wildfire. And we love Halo around here. Of course, we're not slandering Halo by any means, especially the first few iterations of it were absolute peak gaming era, like the golden age of gaming, right? But I'm saying, like, in terms of complete innovation and things that had never been done or seen before, I mean, you know, and then Destiny comes out. And Destiny is, not the first looter shooter out there, not even the second looter shooter out there. Borderlands was already pretty well established and, must have taken some inspiration from that game, I would say. So I at least point to that just because it kind of gives some better context, right? Bungie has been doing the trend chasing thing, so it's not necessarily unfathomable that they would do an extraction shooter. It would also not be, in my opinion, unfathomable for them to do a battle royale. Like I thought they were going to try a battle royale at the time. Imagine you have the super clean gunplay that is a Bungie game, like what we see in Destiny and in Marathon, even to a certain extent. Imagine you see that clean gunplay, but you're in a battle royale game during that peak day when battle royales were super hot and everyone was talking about it. Could have made money. Could have been a flop. I don't know. I would have been interested in seeing it, I guess. That is not how things played out, though. Sony and Bungie have ended service on Destiny 2, ending the decade-spanning series on a whimper. Well, a high-quality whimper with a fantastic final update, but no true expansion allowed to conclude the saga or the story, and from everything we know, no Destiny 3 to come. Weeks later, the studio has been cut in half. Hundreds of Bungie employees were laid off this week. That's almost the entire Destiny 2 team, and even some Marathon members and some senior ones too. Now that game has become the sole focus of the studio with no incubated projects even greenlit, and Marathon attempting to justify its years in production and enormous cost. What's interesting about it too is that I don't know if those senior people were forced to leave or maybe they chose to leave. I can't help but feel like if you worked at Bungie right now and you watched the studio just get cut in half again and again and again until this like giant warehouse is like completely empty, you can hear an echo when you talk. There's got to be an element of like, you know, maybe I do go work for EA or something. I don't know. I'd be like, hey, I don't know if this is going to work out, right? Maybe you do leave a little bit early. I'm not sure. Obviously, it depends on what your stock options are or whatever, right? Like you're trying to make as much money as possible. I mean, they're paying you $100,000. If I was getting paid $100,000 a year, I would probably stay there until they shut the lights off on me too. Okay, I'll take the money. Even before this, we could see what was happening. Marathon has not met expectations. Its initial numbers were poor. A new Bungie shooter after a decade, not even debuting in the Steam top 10 list. Things have only gone downhill from there, barely 3 weeks into Season 2, and after a 10-day free trial, it is now peaking at under 10,000 Steam players a night, a platform which makes up 2/3 of its player base. This is all despite the fact that Marathon is a good extraction shooter. It moves the genre forward in interesting ways and creative ways, but clearly it does not have a wide enough audience. And this is actually an interesting element that was talked about with Tim Sweeney in that recent interview he did, where the games industry is kind of an unfortunate space to launch games in some ways. And one of those ways is that there's not exactly a scale of successful games. It's not like this game, makes this much and then the next best game makes this much. It's really the game that's like the best in its genre, just because of word of mouth and because of established IP, it just crushes it and makes like millions or even billions every year, right? Like we look at like the CSGOs. These games are just crushing it. They are actually printing money. It is ridiculous, right? So it's kind of like a winner takes all mentality when it comes to these games. And you're either the best extraction shooter or you're just dead, basically. It's like you're either the best or you're just dog shit and fucking the game's dead. No one cares. It's kind of an interesting lopsided thing with some of this stuff. And you notice that with some of these games that are just doing so well, and then the second place game is like nowhere near it in terms of competition. And so you kind of see that even with a game like Destiny, right? Like a game Destiny, even though it's number one in the looter shooter space, it's far from number one in the shooter game space, right? Far from number one, probably not even top 10. It's too hard, too frustrating for many. And even with rapid attempts at onboarding, earlier upgrades, boosted XP, and low risk modes, it has not changed things. Now it seems like Marathon is going to try to bolt some of those pieces of the destroyed Destiny 2 onto itself, building the plane as it flies. Oh man.
Guardian down.
In addition to its recent string of free kit modes, which take out half the point of an extraction shooter, it is now developing an entirely separate experimental PvE mode that has almost no impact on the rest of the game and is a mostly self-contained experience. Future plans have also mentioned PvP only modes. Stop the madness, dog. Stop it. Get some help, please. What? I get that they have a contingency plan, right? I understand how business works, and they launch the game and they know that sometimes games launch poorly. Go look at Destiny 2's launch, right? This is so disastrous. Look at how steep this graph falls off. It's like it goes from like 4 million people to like 400,000 in just a few months. Like, holy crap. This is like the worst retention ever. But they still gave him a chance, right? They said, you know what? We're going to keep going. I mean, they were, I guess they were not independent at this point, right? And so they kept going. And they got their Forsaken moment and so on and so forth, right? The rest is history. I think that's what they are expecting with Marathon, though, right? They are expecting Marathon, which looks like this right now. And it started off at 88,000, and it's going to suddenly one day hit, I don't even know, 800,000 all of it in an instant. Like, there's just no way. Like, there is no way this game is going to suddenly have 800,000. And I think that if Marathon did launch with crazy start numbers, it would at least show that there was initial interest. But the game has been lukewarm since day one, and it's been fizzling out ever since. It's time to take it out behind the barn and put it down. Marathon is going to start bending over backwards to attract new players. Hey, yo, what? God damn. That's kind of, I don't know about that, but it was never supposed to. The plan was to make an extraction game, and it started off as that, and then they switched over. Actually, you know what? I have this crazy tweet I want to pull up. Bungie says Marathon, quote, is not a game for everybody. I think if you are looking for PvE experiences, definitely Marathon is not the game for you. Oh my God, that shit is funny, dude. Oh, how the times have changed, Bungie. We are very comfortable saying, yeah, this isn't a game for everybody. This is a game for if you like PvP experiences, especially in a sandbox space, then this is probably something you're going to enjoy. Jojo Zigua. That's insane. And now here we are months later. You know what, guys? Actually, maybe we will make this up. Maybe we'll make a PvE game, Maybe that is what people want. That's funny. It's really funny because they kind of started off with this vision and they're like, we are committed to an extraction shooter. And then they hit the brick wall of no one wanted to play. And so they're like, we are committed to anything that will make us money. So we are not going to get laid off. Right. That's like where we got to. And I think what's crazy about it, especially, is because it has this feeling of like, now you're listening. Now you're listening. Now that you're dying, you're listening. Now, like, why didn't you listen all that time? Like, before any of that, you could have listened a long time ago. It saved yourself all of this. No one asked for this game. No one wanted this game. A good one, a popular one, but not one that needed to carry Bungie on its back and continue to employ hundreds of employees, saving the studio from total dissolution. It can't on its own. Other big changes that other games have used to turn things around won't apply here. There's plenty of evidence that Marathon going fully free to play won't change things, and there was practically no retention after the recently nearly 2-week stretch giving players full access to the game. What we need is more in-game pop-ups in Destiny 2 advertising marathon, right? The expansion tab alone was not enough. Soon it's going to be, please go play this. A botched economy at the start of Season 2 definitely did not help. Many have already made up their mind about Marathon. Most. Pitching something like a PvE mode now is attractive to some, myself included, but the idea that such a thing is going to increase the player base by orders of magnitude is not realistic. At this point, Marathon has had its first, second, third, and fourth impressions given to players. The original public-facing alpha, the pre-launch server slam, the actual paid launch, and the Season 2 free trial. Even if this new mode or others are fun enough, convincing players to give it one more shot after all of this is beyond difficult. Not to mention the game still costs $40. I mean, it's on sale, so it's like 20-something. And it seems like more and more free trials would be required for those 5th, 6th, and 7th impressions as more is added to the game. It ain't gonna work, dog. It ain't gonna work. If you paid people to play this game, it still is not gonna hit good numbers. If you started saying, listen, play Marathon and we will pay you, it still ain't gonna happen for this game. Sony at least publicly says it believes in Marathon, where in the Bungie Layoffs memo, studio head Herman Holst says it has a, quote, strong foundation. According to who? They are building on for the future. While I do not believe that Marathon is in imminent danger of closure, and I still think it will get at least a year to prove itself, it is not in a position to save Bungie. That is not a knock against the game, as it should not have needed to do this. If anything, it's Marathon's fault. Is leadership putting so many eggs in the basket, and it's badly neglecting its actual, still beloved Destiny franchise to do so? Yes. Maybe Destiny 2 needed to end at some point, but there's a difference between that and announcing the next stage of the IP and erasing it from existence and laying off the hundreds of talented team members still making great content right down to the last minute. How do you follow all that? Marathon can't. It shouldn't have to, but it does, and it can't. Damn. He says it pretty fucking blunt. I'll say that. He is not messing around with that. And now we sit around and wait, right? Kind of like how we sat around and wait for the layoffs and all the other bad news, right? We sit around and wait for that announcement, right? That article, that statement from Joe Ziegler and the Marathon dev team where they say, listen, you know, we had a good run. We tried, right? No pun intended, Marathon, right? Listen, Marathon players, we had a good run. Get it? No. But now it's over. Every end is a new beginning, and Marathon is coming to an end. And then what? That's what I want to know. And then what happens next? Are we still working on those incubation projects? What happens to Bungie's massive HQ? They made this like huge headquarters just years ago. It's like gigantic building that it's like 2,000 people can work there. Where does that go? Does Sony own that now? I have no clue, man. I have no clue, but it's all very depressing for us Destiny 2 players that wish we could play more Destiny 2, but we can't. Hopefully we get something new. If we do, we get that big announcement. You better believe we're going to deliver it to you first. We're going to deliver that news, so make sure you're subscribed. They fired some big Marathon positions. Yeah, they did. And I'm not sure exactly what they gave them the option to leave, probably, I guess. I'm not sure. Marathon is a cool game, says Gassan. Hey, listen, if you think Marathon is a cool game, respect. Play Marathon, have fun, do your thing. No one's gonna stop you. I will say that for me, when I play Marathon, it kind of looks like I got hit by a flashbang made of Skittles. It's not my favorite game. I never played Destiny, says Gassan. That's insane, dude. We're gonna lock you up right now, okay? Hey, where's the internet police at? Lock this guy up. Gassan 6599. Lock this guy up. Throw away the key. Marathon is built on a lie. It looks cool, but no. It's like There's a semblance of a really cool game in Marathon. There is a semblance of a really cool game there. I actually will give you, I'll concede that much. I just don't think the execution is as good as it could have been. It's like if you took a good game and like put it into like an AI and had it generate 5 variants of it, it would be like the slop version of it. It'd be like the 5th slop one. Where it's like, there's some good shit in here, but there's also some shit I'm like, I don't know about this one. Personally. That's how I feel about it. But hey, if you're having fun playing Marathon, keep playing Marathon. Do your thing. Oh, God. All right. Oh, no. Marty O'Donnell, Bungie's ex-composer, has awoken the hive with this one. He quote tweeted Bungie's announcement of their layoffs and said, "And have we learned any lessons?" Damn. That's brutal. 550,000 views, 14,000 likes. The replies, I said, nope, D2 players, it's not about the money. It's about sending a message. Everything burns. Oh, man. The Joker moment for the Destiny community. Someone said, no. Ooh. Woke didn't kill Bungie. Poor decision making from upper management did. And, here's the thing. There is a problem with the upper management. That's for sure. Definitely upper management problems. Is the woke problems or being a woke company or just, a liberal company is what this means. Is being liberal a problem in a world where there's a huge political divide? You know what I'm saying? Like half of Americans are, I guess, liberal and half are Republican, roughly, right? Like it's like a 50-50 split, maybe a little bit more one side or the other from time to time. But it's like, half the people in the country think this way and half the people in the country think the other way. So if you pick a side as the company or as a product, right, you definitely make the other side not so happy. Probably not the best decision overall, but hey, if you're willing to handle the consequences afterwards, then more power to you. Oh, he's got the devotion. He's got the kill yourself video. Oh my God. Oh man. The moment they push, quote, tempering player expectations over deliver the best possible product, they failed. The studio has been demolished by lack of accountability and competency from upper management. I will say that there was a culture shift. It did involve a variety of factors, but the culture shift was that they didn't want to do the over delivery thing, right? The 2 raids of two dungeons a year was over delivery, and you can't set these bad expectations, right? And it's problematic in some ways because even if you're the number 1 looter shooter in the world, you are competing against the other shooter games, right? You're competing against the CSGOs, you're competing against these other games. And if those games are absolutely crushing it, they're going to crush you in some degree, right? And I'm not saying that CSGO necessarily killed Destiny 2 by any means, but, when there's these other shooter games that are just literally printing money and basically, building billion-dollar empires every year, making hundreds of millions and billions of dollars more, it's like in a capitalistic society, those games are going to keep growing and growing and growing and building and building and growing and expanding. And you know what I'm saying? And then suddenly Valve has, they own Steam, and then they own CSGO, and then they start their own fucking Steam machine. And eventually they just get world domination, right? And if you don't compete against that, in the same way they are, right? If you're not willing to go to that level that they're willing to go, then you'll lose. You'll just lose. And it's kind of a fortunate or unfortunate part of capitalistic society in some ways, but it's the reality of the situation, right? If you're not willing to compete, if you're not willing to push the boundaries, then you'll just be crushed by the pressure. And I do think that that's a big element of how Destiny 2 got into its predicament. It didn't want to compete. They wanted to not work on the weekends anymore. That was a big thing they had. We're not going to work on the weekends anymore, and we want to have no more crunch and uh, no more over delivery, under delivery. And I mean, it worked for a little while, right? Like there was a few years where I guess it worked, but then eventually it caught up to them, and they started to miss their revenue marks again and again and again, and then eventually the whole company goes up, right? And even if you don't want a company like Bungie to die, right? Let's say you want to more Destiny content, right? Or that IP to go on. Some of those ideas will die no matter what, right? Like if you're going to be in a competitive landscape like this and then just not compete, then yeah, you're going to die. Like for sure you're going to die. Like as an outsider looking at Bungie and the decisions they were making, I could see that they were going to eventually die because their culture was just not going to work in this super competitive space with these like multiple billion-dollar companies. Microsoft is worth trillions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? You got to compete against this shit. God damn. You guys got to lock in. You got to do better than that. So there's definitely a big contributing factor. What do you think was Marty's response here? Is it a little bit classless? Is it untasteful? Or do you think that it's a little bit fair? Do you think that Bungie deserves to learn a lesson from this? Something that has been talked about a lot from myself and others in the commentary community is that there was this studio Concord, right? They're partly made of ex-Bungie devs. And when they died, there was people from the studio that blamed the gamers. They're like, you guys are toxic. You guys are roasting us on Twitter and shit, and you guys are making fun of us on the Steam charts, right? And that same thing will probably happen for Marathon, right? They're gonna blame you. They're gonna be like, it's the Destiny 2 fault, players' fault. They're a bunch of bullies on Twitter. It's like they won't ever take any accountability, which means they don't ever learn any lesson, which means that all of those people that worked on Concord are dispersed out into the world, and they're just gonna go infect other games and other game studios, and they're just gonna keep making the same slop until eventually their LinkedIn looks like 4 failed projects consecutively and no one wants to hire them, right? Unless they learn the lesson, right? Unless they learn like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should reflect on this a little bit. Maybe I should reflect on how this happened. How did I make this game Concord? How did we get here? How did I kill, in Bungie's case, how did I kill a multi-billion-dollar IP? How did that happen? And in that reflection, you're going to face some hard truths. You're going to have to wrestle with some really tough ideas. And hopefully you do take the time to learn those lessons, because on the other side of it is waiting, a more successful game, a more successful version of yourself where you don't have to fucking murder these games and make products that people don't want. But until we get there, until we get that resolve, it's just going to keep happening, because the Bungie devs that made this, the Bungie devs that made Marathon, in their minds, they're like, it's just the toxic Steam chart losers. They post about the Steam charts every day. That's what killed us. And they just never learn, man. And it's brutal because it's just going to keep going on and on until there's big change, man. Let me know what you think, though. I will say this. I feel bad as a last bit. I feel bad for the devs that lost their jobs because they have families. They are real people. Some of them, like if you're just the VFX artist, like you didn't make any decisions. Like you were sitting in the studio working on your computer, making the environment and making skyboxes. Like it's not your fault that you got kicked out, right? Like you just did your job. You showed up, you clocked in, you did your work. You didn't do anything wrong. But the management, the culture, the lack of competing led to this. And it sucks, man. It sucks. But here we are. What's good, my zombie inside? That's gone. Daruz. Oh, God damn it. Daruz is in the chat. God. Hey, Drews, what are you doing? What's up? We have to agree at some point the developers had a somewhat big part to play in this outcome. It was not just all leadership. I will say this: the leadership makes the decisions. Okay, the developers do the work. They do the heavy lifting. All right, but there is a culture to their studio. There's a culture to every studio. I'll give you a good example. Recently, they did a um, it was like the White House did a post about GTA 6, right? It's like, oh, GTA 6, make America great again or something, right? It's whatever, they do this with every game. It's nothing new. And GTA 6, they just said no comment. The reporters asked them, what are you going to say? What are you if you have to say anything about this? Are you going to shut this down? Are you going to say, fuck you, you're on the Epstein list or something, right? Like, is that, what are you going to say, Rockstar, right? And they just said no comment, right? They just like, GTA 6, they're trying to sell games to everyone, right? They're not trying to pick a side politically, right? They probably are somewhat leaning one direction or the other, right? But either way, it's like it's not like overtly a part of their messaging, a part of their strategy of selling GTA 6 to people, right? So they intentionally take a step back and say, you know what? No comment, right? If Donald Trump or the White House wants to tweet a meme about us, fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to get involved with that. Other companies, the other game companies, when the White House tweeted about it, they were like, fuck you. Fuck you. We don't want anything to do with you. Like it was so. There's a lot going on in the games industry. GTA 6 is literally everything that's wrong with America. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I mean, it's just a video game, man. It's entertainment. It's just fun. And I don't know. I don't see that being a big problem. Why is that, what's the problem with GTA? What is the problem with GTA? Tell me specifically. Do you think there's kind of hope in these large layoffs, like Bungie could improve or may set up differently for D3? I don't know what will happen. If I had to guess, though, if Sony rebuilt Bungie from the ground up and picked people that were different, there's possibility. You know what I'm saying? It's a possibility it could be really good. And I think that Sony's more interested in that. I think Sony's interested in starting from ground zero. The sexism and misogyny slub. Holy cow. Is it really? Let me see here. Is the game GTA sexist or misogynistic? Let's see what we got here. It's a matter of debate. Critics argue that women have often been portrayed in limited roles, such as girlfriends, strippers, or sex workers, including in early entries. The games allow players to commit violence against women, just as they can against other civilians, which some believe reinforces harmful attitudes. The marketing and humor have sometimes relied on stereotypes about women. Defenders argue that the series is a satire of American culture, exaggerating and mocking many groups, not just women, but also criminals, corporations, politicians, celebrities, and men. The games allow violence against virtually everyone, regardless of gender, rather than singling out women as targets. Yeah, I mean, it's just a video game, man. It's the problem is if you go down this, Rockstar's writers remind me a lot of South Park's just holding a mirror up to society. Yeah, if you go down this, it's a very slippery slope here because you fall victim to what Bungie tweeted out a while ago, which is that teabagging is simulated sexual assault. That was a real tweet. And so you start saying that, simulated violence is, a game like Destiny, you're shooting guns at people, right? You shoot guns at other people in Destiny, right? So is this simulated gun violence? Is this simulating mass shootings? Should we ban any games like this, right? And it's just, it's a slippery slope real fast. So I think that you can have simulated experiences in a game that doesn't reflect things in the real world. And it's meant to be like you said, like it's like a mirror that you hold up to society. And there is a level of honestness and crudeness to how the world really works in some ways that I think we ignore or choose to avoid talking about because we're like in this civilized society, right? But there is a level of like, like I don't know, just chaos and craziness. There's been calls in the past to do that, as I said, and people will actually advocate for that. People will say, a game like Destiny is simulated violence. You're shooting other people, right? And even if it is in the Crucible, which is like, even that the Crucible is technically like a simulation, so it's not like, it's not like roaming around fucking Miami and shooting a gun at random civilians, right? Like there's degrees to this, right? There's definitely degrees to this. So I'm not trying to remove the nuance or reduce it down to something super. It's like you're trying to like straw man the whole fucking thing, right? But I think that video games can simulate some of the real world, some of how the real world works in some ways. And it can simulate even an older version of the real world or even a more crude version of the world, right? If holding up a mirror to society is okay, why is woke so wrong then? I don't think there's anything wrong with being woke. I mean, I know other people will they just dislike those ideologies, but I don't think there's anything wrong. Like, I genuinely think you should believe whatever you truly believe. And you should believe it with all the conviction you have. You know what I'm saying? Believe whatever you want. Whether you're woke or liberal or conservative or neither or something entirely else. I mean, as long as you're not trying to harm other people, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't see a problem with it. Maybe it's what GTA is kind of. GTA is is it GTA if it is too soft? I think that this GTA is going to be way more soft than we realize. I was doing some research on it, and the last few GTA 5 updates have definitely been not as egregious as maybe the earlier ones, like Trevor or you know previous iterations like San Andreas iterations with the certain language and things that happened in game, right? So I do think there will be I think it'll be maybe a little bit more soft this time around. More so than what people are expecting, right? I think people are expecting like you're gonna load into the game and start doing like ice raids or something insane. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna start, like just absurd things, right? Things that just should not happen, right? And maybe there is a level of limitations to what things we should do, right? Like maybe we shouldn't be doing some things in these games, right? Maybe I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing to wrestle with in our own minds, right? Of like, how far can these games go as a simulation, right? Before maybe it's gone too far. Is there any limit, right? There has to be some limits, right? I think we would agree there's definitely some limits, but where we draw that line, for everyone, it's going to be different. It's going to be a high degree of subjectivity. No limits, dude. Well, there obviously has to be limits, right? There obviously has to be limits. Like, let's be real. So we can't be doing everything we want in GTA, right? But where do we draw that line? And it's an interesting thing because this game has already it's been like banned in like Australia for a long time, I think, right? It's still banned in Australia, I think, right? So like they banned it in Australia and other people look at this game like, I don't know about this one, right? It's been banned in other areas too. So it's interesting to say the least. All right, what do we got here? No limits. Drews, you're insane. This is crazy. MTash tweeted out saying, when I started my YouTube channel, after one of my first videos, I was invited to a cabin with a bunch of, quote, friends. When I got there, the vibe seemed off, and shortly after, I was punched in the back of the head and attacked by 3 people called slurs, and that I was gay for posting on YouTube? What? This is the most crazy. Like, what the hell happened? I quit YouTube for over a year before getting the courage to try again. Imagine if I let them win. God damn, bro, literally got assaulted for making a YouTube video? If you believe in yourself, if you believe in what you can create, don't listen to uninvested haters who just want you to stop trying. Could I fail at making a game? Yep. Could I waste money on something that never profits? Yep. But I'd rather try than never know. I'd rather trust my vision. The only time I ever failed was when I gave up on myself and listened to the noise. Damn. So it sounds like he's making his own game. Honestly, I hope this game delivers in a big way. I hope this game absolutely crushes it. Because that'd be awesome. Would that be crazy, right? I don't know, man. Right now, there's a lot of people making a lot of games. Some are popping off though. You see, Mecha Chameleon sold 10 million. This is a crazy story though. Bro, straight up got beat up for making a YouTube video. That's wild. When I first started making YouTube content, I remember that I made like $2 after like a few months of making content, and I thought to myself, this is not sustainable. This is not it. And yeah, there were the money. They didn't have the same monetization system way back then. I mean, this was back in the ancient days, dude. The days of old, before they have everything set up like they do now. And I remember there was this episode of South Park that like made fun of people for trying to make money on YouTube or something. I was like, oh man, damn it, South Park. um, I wish I had. I knew that YouTube was going to be a big thing a long time ago, and I wish that I had the wherewithal to really commit and to get better at making content early on, because I'd be a freaking trillionaire right now. Okay, we'd be Elon Musk status, but unfortunately, yeah, you know, those those early days were so much different than now. It's crazy to see how things have changed, man. People were straight up getting bullied for having a YouTube channel. You were seen as being weird for having a YouTube channel. There was a time, like, I just want you guys to understand. Listen. I mean, really listen. There was a time when having a YouTube channel made me so weird. It was like the kid that, like, imagine you showed up to school in high school and just started eating glue or something, right? Like, that's what I was perceived as by having a YouTube channel. You were so fucking weird if you had a YouTube channel. Like, what are you, like, ugh. Like, what are you doing? You're posting yourself on the internet? You're posting yourself on YouTube? Is there something wrong with you? Like, why would you ever do that? Like, there's so much stigma. You were so weird for doing it. I remember thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? I was like, I like it. I mean, I like talking about Call of Duty. Like, literally, I was playing Call of Duty and making Call of Duty videos. But obviously, that's changed quite a bit. Oh my God, look at how much different it is now. Now you ask any kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? Right? It's like 10 years, around that age, 10. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a TikToker. I want to be, you know what I'm saying? I want to do something on social media, right? I want to be a Twitch streamer, probably, right? Kick streamer or something. I don't know. They all want to be content creators now. Like the shit. All I'm saying is the shift is crazy. The societal norms and the shift is the most bizarre 180-degree shift I have ever seen on anything in my entire life. And I wish I had recorded more or talked about it more back when it was super lame, because you would laugh, you would die laughing at the things that people would say back then compared to now. Because now everyone's on YouTube. All the celebrities are on YouTube. Celebrities have YouTube channels, you know what I'm saying? Or Instagram, right? Every celebrity has an Instagram, Twitter maybe. You name it, right? Everyone's in the social media thing now. Everyone's a part of it. You know, even you watching this right now, you're watching on social media, so you can't even hate. But back then, dude, back then it was totally different, man. It was totally different. I don't know why there was such a stigma. It was crazy though. Hate watching is still a thing. I guess so. This is, I guess so. Is that? Not sure what's going on with that. I was recording the video and it was starting to like whistle over there a little bit. Let's go to Depth Brain Time Lost. That's gone. Someone is at Lucky's door asking about a cabin. Yeah, Drew's inviting me to a cabin. Drew's, I'm gonna put you in a freaking arm bar and break your elbow. I just want you to know that. My family still asks why we watch other people play games, and I ask why they watch football. That was the big one. That was the big one. That was the ultimate sentence for a long time, actually. For the first few years, people were like, why do you watch other people play video games when you could play the video games yourself? And the people say, well, why do you watch football when you could go play football yourself, right? And the idea was, you know, you're watching people that are super talented and like skilled and like the most, it's like the biggest organized game of this thing, right? Something that you couldn't compete in, right? And the same thing is true for the esports, right? You know, the best COD players in the world or League of Legends players in the world, you know, you're not going to be able to play against these guys. These guys are super talented. It's not quite as impressive in the same way because like a football player will be like some 6'5" super jacked dude versus like an esports pro will literally look like they're malnourished. Like their diet consists of like one banana and a bottle of gamer water every day. And you're like, ew. You know what I'm saying? Like they'd be looking crazy. So it's like, you're like, this is an athlete, but it's not like the same thing, right? You're not like an actual athlete, like a physical athlete, an esports athlete. Oh, our industry is imploding. CD Projekt Red director comments on Bungie layoffs. Yes. This is crazy. This is crazy. Let's lock in here. Here we go. Here we go. Big news. Big news. That's kind of a short one, actually. Oh, no, there's more. Oh, there's lots more. Good. Layoffs are rough, dude. Wish the higher ups suffered. Some of the higher ups did suffer a little bit. Some. Not all, but some. The Bungie layoffs have reached the stratosphere. Everyone under the sun is talking about it. And it's not just the most important topic of the games industry right now, because there's also a ton of other issues with Xbox console prices being increased. There's shortages in components. We just saw the worst quarter of console sales ever. Like dude, it's so bad. When it rains, it pours. Right now, we're basically going through the Great Depression. The Great Gaming Depression is what it is. Our industry is imploding. CD Projekt Red director comments on Bungie layoffs. Between the Destiny 2 team at Bungie being gutted and the layoffs reportedly coming to Xbox that soon, a CD Projekt Red director has issued a brief statement on social media regarding the matter, offering some support. Fans of Bungie have been lamenting the end of Destiny 2 after it was announced in May that major updates for the game would cease after Monument of Triumph in June. I know, man. We're about to be in July. We're about to hit the 2-month mark. Every month I'm going to remember it. Like, Destiny died 2 months ago. Destiny died 3 months ago. I will never let it go down. I'll never let it fully die. We will be petty. I'll be in my deathbed counting the days since Destiny 2 died. The gaming industry is in a tough spot as it hits the midpoint of 2026. Some studios, like Xbox's Compulsion Games, have been hit with the layoffs for reportedly missing the financial targets set by their parent company, while other studios have been making record-breaking sales and still suffer significant cuts, as was the case with Battlefield 6. That was insane. Battlefield 6, those layoffs, Battlefield 6 launches the highest number ever, literally outclasses Call of Duty for the first time, I believe, in its history, right? Crazy. Battlefield. And then look at the fall off, though. 747,000 people. Dude, that's insane. And then it goes from there and it quickly declines to 400,000, 500,000. And oh my God, does it fizzle out? And then there's layoffs, dude. And now we're down here. The game still has, 44,000 is not terrible. It's just not like crazy AAA level. They're expecting a lot more. The most recent series of events involves Bungie, which announced that it was ending support for Destiny 2 and was subsequently hit with a huge wave of layoffs at the end of June. 400 people gone. As studios big and small continue to suffer cuts and uncertainty, the state of the gaming industry can definitely start to look a little bleak. Yes, it does. Yeah, so then we've got them. They're weighing in here. Following the news that Bungie had laid off all of its Destiny 2 staff, CD Projekt Red associate game director Paul Sasko took to Twitter to state that some days I feel our industry is imploding. Teams and game projects are getting slaughtered every second day to the point it's hard to keep up. Brutal. Sasko goes on to give thanks that at least CD Projekt Red is still hiring across the studio's Poland home, the US, Canada, and offers devs a link to the company's current job listings. Job listings on the official CD Projekt Red website include roles across multiple development fronts, such as animation, engineering, art, and production for upcoming games, including the mysterious Project Hadar, Cyberpunk 2, and The Witcher 4. Damn. While CD Projekt Red currently seems stable and growing, at least according to Sasko, it wasn't long ago that the Polish studio was suffering its own layoffs. In 2023, CD Projekt Red downsized its staff by 9%. That sounds like nothing compared to us, dude. What is the percentage of loss of going from a 1,600 studio to 400 people? My Titan math says it's 75%. And it is right, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's right. I passed fifth grade. Not trying to brag. 75% loss that's where we're at. Just a little 75%er. Letting go of roughly 100 employees in what CEO Adam described as a company reorganization. However, these layoffs were announced well in advance to allow developers to find employment, a courtesy many studios can't say they have been given. One of the most devastating aspects of the recent Bungie news is that many devs didn't even know Destiny 2 support was ending until it was officially announced, taking both staff and fans by surprise when the announcement came at the end of May. We talked about this before, and it might suck if you work at Bungie to get that like immediate announcement. You're like, oh, my job is ending. What the? But if they told everyone, there would just be a bunch of leaks, because there's tons of leaks to Jason Schreier. Right? Not calling out Jason Schreier and Paul Tassi, right? Not calling you guys out. But, it's because of those leaks that they can't say anything, because even still, with the limited number of people that they told Bungie, they still leaked it to Paul Tassi. So it's like, they're trying to limit that from happening. And obviously, Paul Tassi's not going to, blow the lid on the whole thing, and neither is Jason Schreier, right? These guys have journalistic integrity, right? They're not going to do that. But others might not, right? Others might say, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll spill the beans and blow the lid off this one. And it's unfortunate. So because of the leaks, I think that's why they had to, wait until the last minute to tell everyone. PlayStation's official statement on Bungie claims that affected employees will receive transition support in the coming days, though the extent of that support also remains unknown. While it is a dark time for the gaming industry, at least Sasko's post reminds developers that there are opportunities and community support for those impacted. Fans on Twitter and Reddit have been vocal in their loyalty to Bungie developers, even with Destiny 2's ups and downs over the years, going as far as launching petitions for Destiny 3. Hey, the petition mentioned. Let's go. To show that Sony, that it is worth keeping the studio where it once was. Hopefully, everyone affected can land on their feet soon enough. That sucks, man. Such a tough situation. And it does feel like the community is imploding. Like, we are going through the great gamer depression. We're going to talk about this period of time in the history books, just as there's been other periods of times where games really struggled and really did terrible. There's highs and lows, and it was for a long time just up and up and up and up and up. And it was the sky is the limit. Truly, the games industry became multiple billion-dollar industry, and now it's just like there's hundreds of billions of dollars in it, right? You've even got Microsoft, they're worth trillions of dollars alone. So there's big players out here in the games industry, and the bubble has burst. The bubble has popped, and you can't just make some AAA slop on Unreal Engine 5 and, make $100 million. It ain't that easy anymore, like it was maybe 10 years ago. And we're watching a big collapse in so many different ways. You've got the consoles are too expensive and they're charging a subscription. PCs are getting too expensive. You got console wars are back with exclusivity that no one wants. No one benefits from this except the greedy console companies that are trying to make more money off of you by convincing you that you need to hate the other team. It's like, because we like PlayStation, we're supposed to hate Xbox? How does that work? It doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be that way. There should be cross play for everything, in my opinion. But I don't know, man. It's a crazy time. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see who the winner is in all of this. What are your predictions? Who comes out on top by 2030? Who emerges the champion of the great gaming depression? Sony, Microsoft, someone else, NetEase, I don't know, Tencent, countless others out there, right? Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. AI, dude, and the worst part about it, you're right, though, the AI is kind of sitting there lurking in the shadows during all of this. Like the fucking AI is just lurking, foaming at the mouth, like the fucking winnower, dude, waiting for this great battle to go down, where AI is just gonna hit the fucking one fell swoop and just fucking start. Imagine a day where you can start making games with like tons of generative AI. I don't even know. I don't even want to see what that looks like, but it's gonna be a crazy time. It looks like it's probably gonna happen whether you wanted it or not. AI is coming to video games. I don't know if you saw, but I was talking about a rumor that what the AI from Sony would be used for. What's that? AAA has to solve the problem of these ever-growing production costs. This will keep happening until studios are more fiscally responsible, until they have the tech to efficiently do more with less. Yeah, that is a big thing. That is a big problem. I guess Destiny 2 might have a shelf life. What does that mean? Shelf life. It's just a rumor from. Oh yeah, shelf life. What does shelf life mean in video games? I'm dumb, chat. I need to be educated today. Shelf life refers to how long a game remains relevant, actively played, or continues to sell after release. Interesting. Now I'm educated, chat. Now I know what shelf life means. For example, a game with a short shelf life might be popular for a few weeks or months before most players move on. A game with a long shelf life might stay popular for years, continue to attract player sales and content creators. That's interesting. I mean, shelf life, it's kind of like sounds like a variant definition of like live service in some ways, right? Because like a live service game is meant to go on, like have a long shelf life. But a box product game would have a short shelf life, I think. My Titan brain's twitching, okay? Shelf life can apply to food too. That's probably where it came from, right? I mean, let's be real. That's probably, you know, shelf life, like the food on the shelf. All right, next one. What the heck? I click mute on the alerts and it says no. Excuse me? What the fuck is going on here? 1 second. What the hell? Hey, what? Oh my God. Okay. Holy crap. 10,000 things just went wrong. I have like a random keybind that's set to record. Bruh, what is you doing? All right, let's just test an alert to make sure it's muted here.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I'd like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
Dude, what the internet is not real. Guys, look. I'm trying to explain to you guys why I hate technology and why I want to, when I'm done with streaming and content creation, you're never going to find me, right? I'm going to be on a fucking island out in the middle of nowhere, like literally drinking coconuts every day because this shit is insane. Look, I'm going to click it. I clicked it. And now it's unmute.
My money don't jiggle jiggle.
So that plays the alert.
I'd like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
And then I mute it. Look, I clicked it. Now it's muted. Okay, good. It's muted. Thank God. Oh my God. It was like bugging. We have a cabin for Drews. I am regrettably going to GCX and I will be staying in an Airbnb with Drews. This is the bane of my existence. Yep, we're going to GCX. Worst nightmare come true. Exactly. Here we go. Here we go. Have you tried panicking? I did panic a little bit, but we got it locked in now. Destiny 2, the most preventable tragedy in gaming. I agree with this. It's sad how we got here. This comes to us from Fallout Plays. Let's see what we're cooking up here.
I have not been this mad in a really long time. I had a fun video planned for today where I was going to damage test every super in the game to see what the hardest hitting options were at the very end of D2. I'm still working on that and a couple of build videos too, but I'm putting all that on a brief hold because I have a lot on my mind that I feel like I need to talk about. Yesterday, if you didn't see, and it probably would have been pretty hard not to because it was all over the internet, a ton of Bungie employees have officially been laid off. According to gaming journalist Paul Tassi, it seems that the number is around 400 or so employees, which apparently is around half the studio. And before anyone says it, yeah, I know that neither I nor anyone else should be surprised by this news. I'm not. Weeks ago, Bungie announced that Destiny 2 was coming to an end and that Monument of Triumph was going to be the last major content drop for D2. So naturally, if development of the game is coming to an end, it's easy to predict that a lot of the devs are unfortunately going to be let go along with it. Like I said, the news about Bungie layoffs is not at all surprising, but that doesn't make it suck any goddamn less. I'm gonna be completely honest, the video game industry doesn't make sense to me anymore. When I was growing up, I always thought that two of the coolest industries to ever wind up in as an adult would be either the film industry, which is actually what I went to college for, or the video game industry. Think about it, just think about it. Your job is literally to make dreams and fantasy worlds come to life for people to explore and get lost in. Seriously, look at how far video games have come since first being invented. Our parents started off with Pong and Tetris, just recreational little ways to kick back and kill some time by playing a silly little game. And look at video games now. Many of them are still small yet fun ways to spend your downtime, but other games are entire worlds of fiction and fantasy, vast and deep spaces where people can get completely lost in. Not only is the game fun and awesome, but it's a place where you can express yourself and you can meet other people that you never would have met before and forge deep, lifelong connections over a shared experience. If I had $1 for every time I've heard a touching story of a now married couple who met for the first time playing Warcraft, Destiny, Warframe, Final Fantasy, whatever.
It's true. There's a lot of people that got relationships from Destiny. Oh my God, so many.
Then I'd have enough money to hire a professional to sneak in and break all the windows on every one of Pete Parsons' cars. Games are thriving right now. You think Hollywood is making money? The gaming industry is backhanding those numbers. Last I read, the gaming industry was pulling in something like more than both the movie and the music industry combined. And
Wow.
yet every year we hear stories like this.
The bubble has burst, though. I think that's an interesting element to this now. It was growing and growing and growing, building, and then the pandemic only launched it even further, right? But now the bubble has burst.
Stories about how some game company, game studio, whatever, is laying off half their workforce. Bungie isn't even the only company in the gaming industry this week experiencing layoffs, by the way. It's insane. And I can't imagine the look on my own face if I could travel back in time and tell a much younger me, hey, you know that industry you thought might be really cool to work in one day? Yeah, turns out it's a goddamn nightmare. Why don't you go check out something less stressful, like politics? Don't get me wrong, I didn't think Destiny 2 was going to be the world's first forever game and last for another 100 years or anything like that, but everything is coming to a stop so abruptly ever since the big announcement, and this is just the icing on the giant crap cake. I figured that D2 would eventually wind down and stop at some point, but I was hoping it would happen so much more naturally. This really feels like the gaming equivalent of you going 65 down the highway when somebody in the passenger seat just casually reaches over and yanks the e-brake right in front of you. It just doesn't make sense to me. There have been so many games out there that have tried to break into the world of live service and completely fell flat on their face. And now I'm reading articles talking about if Destiny 2 was ever profitable to begin with. I just don't understand how one of the most well-known and well-decorated, most iconic games in the live service shooter industry could ever come to such an unceremonious end that it truly didn't deserve. The
Mismanagement, unfortunately. And there's a lot of factors, not just mismanagement, but clearly that's the biggest one. Let's be real. You can't have a product that has millions of people that play it, right? Destiny 2 lifetime has had almost 73 million. That's not including D1 numbers. There's probably like 100 million people in the world over the last 12 years that logged in and played the video game Destiny. Massive audience, right? Massive, clearly mass appeal, right? Something that obviously Marathon really struggles with. The problem is now monetizing it, maintaining it, sustaining it for the live service. And there just has to be good decisions made. And there has to be, you have to allot the right resources to the right things and not mess it up. And if you do, then unfortunately you pay the consequences. And that's where we got to with it. We made some pretty bad decisions post the final shape. Greed is another factor, right? We talked about obviously Pete Parsons and his cars pretty heavily around here. That's definitely a factor, definitely a problem, but that's not the only one. Right? There's many factors, and it sucks. It sucks that Destiny 2, a game that's so iconic, is dead, though. That's the worst part about it. I feel like there's like smaller games I can like understand. Like, all right, like a game that's got like 5,000-10,000 people online. Yeah, I could understand maybe the game goes under, but big game like Destiny, yeah, damn, that's crazy. The #1 looter shooter in the world for so many years, it goes under. It's crazy to be at such a well-established position and then go to 0. That's crazy. You just don't see that too often, actually.
Game deserved better. We, the players, deserved better. And you know who else did? The devs who actually cared, which is probably a lot more than the average naysayer might think. All I can say on that front is I just wish all of you could experience what I've experienced. I wish that you could all know what I know. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying that I'm sitting on any secret bombshell NDA information or anything like that. Just that I've met and spoken with so many Bungie devs over the years across several teams, and let me tell you, 99% of them were all extremely passionate about one thing and one thing only: making an awesome game that players love to play. And yet, you'd be amazed at how often they get hit with roadblocks. Real, the call is coming from inside the house energy, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. In the next few days and weeks, we are guaranteed going to be hearing a lot from industry journalists like Jason Schreier, Paul Tassi, and more, who will likely be sharing a ton of stories from anonymous game devs who have been let go from Bungie, and I'm predicting that we are not gonna like what we hear. I will bet you anything, that we are gonna hear so many stories from devs that sound like this. Man, we wanted to put XYZ in the game because the players would have loved it, and we were told no. We really wanted to create.
Yeah, you mean the Destiny dating sim? Oh no, not the Destiny dating sim. They were told no.
To XYZ because it would be awesome, and we were told no. We are going to...
And that's part of the issue that I actually do bring up in a smaller degree. I do think the majority of the blame should be allotted to the leadership, right? But it should be said that there was a culture that had been created from Bungie that was problematic. Like, they weren't really trying to compete. They're also kind of advocating for some weird things that maybe players don't really want or vibe with. And that's not just the leadership, that's the culture of the studio, right? And it's not to say that they're responsible for things. Like, the leadership still has to make the decisions, right? The leadership made the right decision and said, yeah, we're not going to make a Destiny dating sim like the game Dream Daddy. Yeah, we're not going to do that, right? So that's the right decision. But the fact that, yeah, it creates an interesting dynamic, though, because now you have the leadership making the right decisions, but the actual devs making the wrong decisions. So you have kind of the dynamic is flipped there. We have the devs are kind of doing some wacky, weird shit, and the leadership's like, yeah, no, like, stop. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's not ever happening. Like, that's a hard no. Like, we're not doing that, right? And so it goes, like, the point I'm getting at is that the responsibility being put on the leadership, it kind of feels like a scapegoat thing. And it's also an interesting thing to me because the leadership is like this anonymous entity where we're just like, whoa, the ominous leadership, right? There's no like specific name or person or thing or idea or anything, right? It's just leadership, generic term, the people making decisions. But I do think a majority of the responsibility should lie on their shoulders, right? Should, like, for the decisions made post the final shape, especially for the decisions that were made with Lightfall, especially. But it does need to be said that there's some of that responsibility does fall on the Bungie devs too.
Hear so many stories like that. I will literally eat my own boxers with a knife and fork on stream if we don't. And honestly, even though it's going to be really depressing reading those stories, it's important that we get them. They probably aren't going to be pretty, and they're very likely going to piss us off, but it's definitely going to shed a light on just how often game devs likely get held back from delivering awesome ideas. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Just look at how much we were given with D2's latest release, Monument of Triumph, which, if you haven't played it, by the way, you really should. Monument of Triumph is the content drop equivalent of a giant love letter to the community. But yeah, to me, it seems like a blatant scenario where, because they knew this was going to be the last major content drop, the devs no longer had their hands tied and they were finally able to just give us everything, no holding back.
What's interesting about this is, and I'm only playing devil's advocate here just a little bit, just because I find it an interesting predicament we've put ourselves in. So the last update is really, really good. Right? I agree. I strongly agree. I've been playing it, having fun. Now, we attribute this to the leadership holding the devs back, in some ways. But we don't exactly know that that's the actual truth of the situation. Like, we obviously don't get anyone from leadership saying that, like, yeah, you know, guys, we were really holding them back. Like, they're not saying that, right? They're not saying anything, right? You could probably get a scenario where the leadership, I mean, I'm not saying they would say this because they don't want to throw their devs under the bus, but they could say, look, we tried to deliver all of this for Edge of Fate, but they didn't get it cooked up in time. We had everyone working on it and they were too slow. And that's why. So maybe the leadership is pointing fingers at the devs saying, you guys are too slow. You should have delivered all this by Edge of Fate. Like, we don't know is the point I'm getting at. It's like, I feel like there's this interesting idea in this development where we have to point a finger at something, right? Like, we have to say, what is it? Who are we going to throw tomatoes at? Right. And the target has become leadership. And that's fine. I do agree. The leadership makes the majority. They should get the majority of the tomatoes. You know, the most of the tomatoes should be thrown at them, I would say. But until we get the full story of everything, you know, there could be some scenarios or things that we don't really know about. Like, we don't know why. Like, it's pretty obvious that this update, right, with all of the tiered weapons, this should have arrived with the launch of Edge of Fate. I think we should all agree on that, right? Like, it didn't make any sense that 80% of the game was effectively sunset on the launch of Edge of Fate. Like, it was not necessarily unplayable, but it served no value because it didn't have tiered weapons and armor. So why did it not meet that deadline? Why did it not meet that deadline? I don't know. Are we going to blame leadership? Most people will, and that's fine. Are we going to blame some of the devs? Maybe there weren't enough devs. Maybe there weren't enough people on the team to make this crazy effort happen in time. So maybe it's no one's fault. Maybe it's not leadership's fault. Maybe it's not the devs' fault. Maybe it's just this, like, you're taking this 8-year-old game with like 400 activities and you're trying to pump it through this filter and like regurgitate all of the loot back out, but with tiered weapon on the other side. And there's all these moving parts and all these things. And maybe it just wasn't, maybe it wasn't possible within that deadline, perhaps. So maybe it's no one's fault. Maybe it's not throw tomatoes at this guy or that guy or whatever. There's so many different factors that go into this. I'm only playing devil's advocate for this situation because I do find it fascinating that this is like the main narrative that we've kind of gotten to with it. Marathon's fault. Yeah. So it's like, let's throw Marathon under the bus. You know, I don't know.
Finally able to just give us everything, no holding back. I was trying not to, but I was doing a lot of doom scrolling the other day, and I saw a tweet from a community member who I really like, DTM. Just don't tell her that, it might go to her head. That really resonated with me. Devs are players too. All they want is to make good games because they actually give a fuck. The industry just fails them over and over again because it won't stop letting greedy management get in the way of real creatives. We need systematic change before they ruin everything.
It's an interesting premise with this. I mean, the part that I find fascinating is that the people that become the leaders, generally they're like working for a while, even sometimes as devs. So it's like, at what point do they stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just find it's an interesting premise, I guess. I feel like we're creating this scenario where we're just like, the devs are perfect and they did nothing wrong in any capacity. And I don't want to throw the devs under the bus. I don't. I do think the leadership is the one that needs to be blamed for the majority. But I do think it's like, it's a company thing. Like, it's the whole ship, it goes down together, or, you know, you sink or swim together. And I think it's an interesting thing that we've created this persona that the devs can do no harm. There is nothing a dev could possibly do wrong. And I find this kind of a fascinating approach to this topic.
As someone who streams and makes videos for a living, I really have to be careful about what I say a lot of the time because I don't like armchair game development vibes, meaning I always want to make it clear that I have never worked in the gaming industry, so nothing I should say should ever be interpreted as anything close to a expert opinion or whatever.
I claim the exact opposite. I am a professional armchair developer, certified, you know, college degree from armchairdeveloper.com.
The hell you want to call it. But I feel like I can say wholeheartedly, as a passionate game player and observer of the industry as a whole, Something's gotta give, man. I don't claim to know what the solution is, but all I do know is that year after year, it's the same thing. The gaming industry is booming, numbers are going crazy, pulling in literally billions of dollars, and yet the entire field is being suppressed and routinely damaged by C-suite chuds who care more about their own salaries and bonuses over anything else. And hey, take it from someone in the industry. As a general rule, nobody with a salary of 7+ figures cares about the people whose livelihoods they're responsible for, the quality of the products they put forward, or you, the consumer. Once they hit 7 figures, everything they do is to preserve that number no matter.
I mean, it's like, so the idea is once your salary is over $1 million, you don't care about the people whose livelihoods are responsible for. You're just greedy is what it is, right? You're a greedy person. So this is the sentiment of this tweet, right? And obviously I don't know what it's like to have 7 figures. I mean, if anyone's willing to hire me, just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'll do whatever it takes. For 7 figures? God damn, the things I would do. Holy. Does it corrupt you? Maybe, probably. I mean, it's a lot of money, right? Should the people that are given these positions of power have a more altruistic approach where instead of accepting all this money, they funnel the money back into the company and, you know, fund future projects? Possibly. I mean, it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt, right? Like it wouldn't, like making Pete Parsons ridiculously rich didn't help Destiny 2 at all, right? Like that money could have went towards so many other things, right? He could still be rich. He just doesn't have to be like a gigantic garage filled with like 30+ exotic cars rich. You know, you could still be pretty rich. Like even the average Bungie salary is like 100,000 a year. Like you're making pretty good money. Like that's pretty good. But $1 million salary, maybe it does corrupt you, right? Maybe it's too far. Unfortunately, we do live in a society that is built off of capitalism, and the way these things are structured is, you know, you get paid these big salaries, but you also get paid these stock options and the company sells and you get paid out from that, right? That's kind of how it goes. And the reason why you work so hard, the reason why you'll see some people that are really talented work feverishly difficult, like 80 hours a week on these game projects, is because they're getting those stock options and they know that it's like they one day going to cash out, or believe one day they'll cash out and make millions potentially, right? And so you get people to work really, really hard with the upside of those numbers, right? That's how you get people to work really hard. People that are talented, and then let them know that there's this carrot on the end of the stick, right? So it's like a double-edged sword in some ways. There is a greed problem, though. I will admit, I don't know if this is 100% accurate in every way, but I will say that there is a greed problem that's happening where the C-suite is making a ton of money, right? The game like Destiny, it dies, and what happened? There's like a handful of people out there, maybe a dozen people out there, that have made millions and millions of dollars, generational wealth. And then everyone else just kind of, you know, they got their salary and that's it. Now they're on to the next thing. And it does seem a bit odd, right? It does seem a bit unusual, perhaps, that everyone else is like just out of a job and kind of sad and disappointed and move on to the next thing. And then a handful of people are just rich beyond your wildest dreams. Feels unusual. Feels maybe unfair. Unfortunately, I think that's more capitalism than anything, but
the cost. That would be the senior designer of Overwatch, and man, is he really saying what probably a lot of us have been thinking. I know this might be kind of an extreme statement, but I genuinely feel like Sony's purchase of Bungie and the eventual collapse of Destiny 2 might go down in history as one of the biggest fumbles in all of gaming.
I actually agree with this wholeheartedly. We've been talking about this extensively. I think that even when you look at a project like Concord and everyone's like, oh, $400 million, what a flop, what a shit game, and like they laugh, and it's like, $400 million is a lot. That really is. That was a shit game. And Destiny's not nearly as bad as that. But Destiny and the mismanagement with Sony and Bungie and everything, it's like $3.6 billion, right? That's like Concord times 12. Like, what? How the hell did we pull this off? Or was that times 12 or is that times 9? Math? 9. My bad. Oh my God. Someone's going to roast me in the chat for that. Sorry. Titan Cran eating math.
never know what happened behind closed doors, which is heartbreaking, but I do know that in my heart of hearts that if we ever lived in a universe where Destiny 3 had ever been announced at any point, the pre-sale traffic would have crashed Steam, and yet here we are. And I hate to twist the knife in my own side even more, but what hurts extra hard is, even if by some miracle they did start working on a D3, I genuinely don't even know how hopeful I would be about it at this point, because they literally just let go everyone that helped make Destiny, Destiny. The cinematics team, gone. The sandbox team, gone. The raid and dungeon team, gone. So who would be there to make it even if they wanted to?
This is an interesting point. And something we talked about, though, is that if they were at that incubation stage, you don't need a full-fledged team on day one. Like, you don't need, like, the 400 people. You get up to the 400 or more people stage once you get to, like, pre-production and production. But it still does stand to reason that, you know, you're going to lay these people off, and then presumably you're going to call them back up again and be like, hey, the thing is, we got that Destiny 3 thing going, and we could use you now. I mean, most of them will probably sign up for it because they loved Destiny 2, and a lot of these devs, like, they did a really good job. Like, they made the visuals in the game. Like, they made the you know, the person that's responsible for making the Hive, like, that guy did a good job. I like the way the Hive look, you know, and whoever that was, you did good work, right? And they'll come back, I imagine, unless they're working on something else by that point in time. But it is a weird predicament, right? You're going to get laid off, maybe called back if a maybe Destiny 3 happens, if you're not already working on something else. It's going to be a tough situation.
I don't know what the future holds, but the fact that there's a very real possibility that at some point in the future we might live in a world without Bungie existing at all is just truly mind-boggling. The studio responsible for some of the most incredible and absorbing games I've ever played in my life. Again, I don't know what exactly needs to happen in the gaming industry. I just know that something needs to change and it can't keep going on like this. A lot of hardworking and talented people that clearly were capable of delivering awesome content, case in point, all of Monument of Triumph, are now out of work because of some legendary executive suite dumbassery. At the end of the day, I hope those who were affected by the layoffs are able to recover. I hope that the remaining player base will be able to continue coming back to and enjoying the game that they love for as long as the servers are on. I hope that the industry is able to improve and evolve to a point where it no longer seems like a hellscape to work in. And I hope that the powers that be who are responsible for the abrupt conclusion of one of the most awesome, incredible, and unique sci-fi IPs ever made are able to sleep at night. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
All right, so there it is. That was Fallout Plays giving a breakdown of the most preventable tragedy in gaming. Talking about Destiny 2's death. I think it was a good breakdown. And you know, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion and their own take and how they perceive what were the biggest contributing factors to Destiny 2's death. And no one's going to agree across the board on everything. No one. It's not possible. There's too many factors that led into it. And some people are going to point at this and point at that. And there's nothing wrong with having a different opinion. So I thought he had a great opinion, though. And he articulated it in a pretty fair way. So no big disagreements from me necessarily. We'll see what happens, man. The games industry is going through a really turbulent time. It's the Great Gaming Depression. That's what we're calling it here. The Great Gaming Depression has begun. And when will it end? We have no clue. We can't even buy consoles anymore. They're not even making them. They're too expensive. They're jacking up the prices on the consoles. Even GTA, it's got like $100 now for GTA 6. $100? God damn. In this economy, it's brutal. Brutal time. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Let's get sick with it. Let's go. What's up? What's up, everybody? There are no plans to ever print GTA 6 discs. Oh, shit. This is kind of crazy. GTA 6 it's not going to have a physical disc at all. They even confirmed that. People thought it might come later on, but apparently there's just no physical disc. No physical disc. RIP to physical gaming media. RIP. All right, let's see what we got in terms of next news story. This one, we got to cover this as its own short here. This is crazy. This aged like milk. Bungie says Marathon is not a game for everybody, which we already know. I mean, go look at the Steam charts. Like, come on. Like, obviously. But what is Marathon as a game? It's a PvP extraction shooter. The quote comes from the game director, Joey Z. He says, I think if you are only looking for PvE experiences, definitely Marathon is not the game for you. Which, if you don't know, now they're coming out with a PvE playlist, which is kind of funny. And obviously, it's not only, right? The only part is the key there. You know, it's obviously an extraction shooter. There's no campaign necessarily, but the fact that they're going into the PvE side of things kind of makes me laugh. We are very comfortable saying, yeah, this isn't a game for everybody. This is a game for if you like PvP experiences, especially in sandbox spaces, then this is probably something you're going to enjoy. Game director Joe Ziegler. So, not a PvE game, they said. And now, fast forward to the modern time, and during the mid-season update, which comes in July, they are introducing a PvE-only mode. And there's already a PvP light mode, which is basically a PvE mode already, practically. So times have changed. Truly, times have changed. What do you think, though? Do you think the PvE-only mode will move the needle for Marathon? Do you think that this is going to help them build and find their footing in the audience that they're searching for? Or do you think that it might fall flat on its face? Let me know down in the comments. I will play the PvE mode when the game becomes free. There you go. We got at least one. We got Joker in there. I'll try it. You think I won't? I'll try it out. I'll play. All right, here we go. This is a good one. Ready, chat? Lock in. No matter what they do, Marathon is a dead game, says Lord Angel. I wish they I wish we could all agree on that as a world. Everyone in the world would agree on that, right? Sorry, I have a Titan brain. I wish we could all agree that Marathon is doomed no matter what, and therefore the best case scenario for a successful timeline, in one in which we make money, we gain some level of profitability, is to focus on a Destiny project. We got it. You know, we tried with Marathon. Hey, we tried. You had a good run. You gave it a shot, right? The old college try. But it didn't work out. So it's time to work on the next thing. And that starts with the D and ends with an Destiny 3. All right, here we go. GTA 6 will not ever print physical discs. Can you believe that? You won't ever get a hard copy of GTA 6. You will own nothing and be happy. Initially, this was reported that there would be no discs, but people later leaked that there were discs coming later on, like a month after launch. That was a lie. That was not true. Rockstar Games says they have no plans of a physical disc launch of GTA 6 anytime soon, and not even months after. Okay, this comes after a debunked insider made viral claims of a disc launch being delayed, with next to zero game outlets actually looking into the lackluster source. So no one looked into it, no one said anything, and it was just reported as though it's fact, which is kind of hilarious. That's kind of where we're at with the internet right now. Everyone's in such a race to be first to report the news that no one verifies anything. So unfortunately, it's not true. They're gonna have a physical disc, which kind of makes sense if you think about the file size. This guy has a decent graph here. You got your standard Blu-ray, 25 gigs. You got your 50 gigs with the dual layer. You got the triple layer, the BDXL. Okay, and then you got your BBL quadruple layer here, 128 gigabytes. Like, you're gonna have to put this bad boy on like 2 discs just to get it out the damn door. Might even have to put it on 3 discs. The first ever 3-disc game. Could you imagine? I don't know what the file size is going to be of this thing, but it's too big for a disc. It's too big. Maybe we need to come out with some new digital media. Well, let's go back to cartridges. Can cartridges hold more than discs? Probably not, right? Like, can cartridges hold more than discs in video games? Theoretically. I just really miss my Nintendo 64 cartridge, dude. I would dude, it was like gray. I can remember it. Oh, it was like gray, and you would put it in, and you'd slide the little knob up, and then it wouldn't work. And so then you pull the game out, and you go, and you put the back in, and then you push the button, dude. Ah, oh, it was peak. The cartridges cannot hold up, dude. Oh wait, no. Theoretically, cartridges can hold much more than optical discs. That's what I'm saying. Have you not seen these flash drives? They got flash drives with like a terabyte of information on them. Can't we just like figure that out? We got to get back to making physical media, and we need to do a midnight release, and we need to go back, dude. We got to go back. Modern gaming, dude, it's not that it sucks, but there's some elements that suck, right? Did anyone ever wait in line at a midnight release? I went to multiple of these for Call of Duty games. That was a good time. I had fun with that. So we need a USB stick. Yeah, can you imagine a USB stick that's the new digital media? I don't know what it would be, but it's crazy that this is happening, though, and a lot of people are mad about it. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. All right, let's see what we're cooking up next here, chat. So many news stories. Rockstar only profiting. There's no deficit in the company. Yeah, Rockstar. Have you seen the reports of how much money they've made? How many pre-orders are there of GTA 6 right now? Look it up online. Oh my God. They have not publicly disclosed the number of copies. Widely discussed estimates. Some articles have claimed 39 million in 24 hours, but there's no official evidence. $39 million pre-orders. There's no way. Yeah, it's just a random Instagram post. It's crazy how like information is being passed around now. And like there's just like some random guy on Instagram will just say it, and then it's just like everyone just agrees, yeah. Valuetainment. Yes. What even is, dude? I swear people just make up some like AI generated slop name for their freaking Twitter handle now. Valuetainment, dude. Wow. All right. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is insane if true. GTA 6 has reportedly surpassed 39 million pre-order sales and $3 billion in revenue. There's just no way. There's just no way. This is unsubstantiated. Rockstar Games hasn't said anything. If I had to guess, there's no way they're this far along, right? There's no way. 39 million? God damn. If you don't know, GTA 5 is the second best selling game all time. It's been out for a long time, though. I think like 13 years now. It's got 230 million sales lifetime. 13 years to get there, though. 39 million pre-orders and making three. That would mean they already made their money back and the game hasn't even come out yet. 39 million times $80. It would be like a combination of $80 purchases plus $100 purchases for the deluxe edition. Rockstar Games has not officially announced the number. Like if you go pull up their Twitter page right now, they haven't said anything. It said GTA 6 is now available to pre-order. If I had to guess, though, based on the hype and the aura around this game, it probably passed like 10 million. If I had to guess, it probably passed 10 million. I mean, Mecha Chameleon made it past 10 million. So this game surely made it past 10. What do you think, though? Where are the pre-orders at right now? It'll be interesting to see when they give us an update, how many they're at. They spent like $2 billion making this thing, so this is the biggest video game project in history. So it stands the most to lose, right? And it probably won't lose. Let's be real. GTA 5 is still doing incredible numbers even now. Even as a 13-year-old game, the game is crushing it. So the idea that somehow they would drop the ball here and completely flop is a bit far-fetched in my opinion. Now, is it going to meet those expectations, those unrealistic expectations of this being, better than anything you could have ever expected? Maybe not, because the expectations are so high. The bar is being set so high for them, but it's crazy to think about. It's crazy to see what's possible, and we'll see how well it does in the end. Eventually, we'll know the numbers, right? I do love GTA, but console is supposed to be easy entry for anyone who just wants to play games. We as a consumer let this company get away with whatever they push on us. For me, as no physical media console, I won't buy. People will. That's the future. But the future only happens if people support it. Yeah. So I mean, if people have enough pushback, it'll get their attention. But a lot of people just won't care that much. Unfortunately, it's video games. The physical media age is kind of like an older age. Like I'm old, I like it. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate it, but the younger generation, they don't really care as much. Like they're not too bothered by it. You know, they grew up playing Minecraft and shit. You know, so like I don't think does anyone even have a physical copy of Minecraft? Like everyone bought that online, right? So like they grew up in a whole different generation. They bought Fortnite, right? Fortnite's a free-to-play game. There's no physical copy of Fortnite, right? There's 0 physical copies of Fortnite because it's a free-to-play game. So I paid for Minecraft in 2012. Yeah, but did you get a physical copy? Especially when they kind of force a console that doesn't have a disc tray. Yeah, right? At this point, you're literally paying money for a physical disc for GTA, and it's literally just a freaking plastic case. This is all you're getting is a plastic case. It's like, what do we even, like, it is kind of turning into a weird thing where the games are digital anyways. Like, if you have a physical copy of Destiny 2 with the Red War campaign on it, you put it in your console and you can't play the Red War campaign. So it's like, it is literally just a collectible is what it is, right? Is it? Like, if you think about it, is it not just a collectible? Like, you can't play Destiny 2 offline. So if you're like, I love my collector's edition with the, you know, the metal case or something, it's like, it's a collectible. You know, it's like a piece of plastic, it's a piece of metal. At this stage, you know, it's more a collectible thing that's separated from the actual video game. And I think that people tie it to ownership, and the ownership is kind of, it is an issue, a serious issue, but the ownership has been removed from the physical media for a while now. Like, you get, like, it makes sense, right? You physically can have the disc to Destiny 2, but you cannot play the Red War campaign. So it doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just a disc. It's just like a, it's not, there's not anything on it that's any different than the digital version, you know? Fortnite does have physical because it was Save the World first, yeah. I bought the physical copies. Yeah, and if you did buy the physical, that's cool. But now you can see how the physical is kind of a, is like a placebo almost, right? Like, it's not a real game. Some are, yes. And maybe they should make them like that. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but they are kind of a placebo in some ways, right? Like, you can put the physical copy of Destiny 2 into your console, but you cannot play it until you update it. And then when you update it, you're just playing the digital copy anyways. That makes sense. It's a weird spot. I'm an older gamer, so I like the physical media. I like going into old school video game stores where there's like shelves of games. I like that. I think it's cool. I still go into those once in a while and just browse around. But that's becoming like a, that's becoming something for us old geezers. You know what I'm saying? Us 35 and older gamers, that's what we do. The young folk, I don't think they care as much. Or at least they're starting not to. It wasn't the same for them. Here's the thing. We went to midnight releases. They didn't. So it doesn't mean the same thing to them. I had to physically go to Walmart, go to GameStop, and I had to wait in line for like 2 hours before midnight. I had to stand in there. In the mall. I'd be in the mall. A mall. Can you believe that? Going into a mall? Who does that anymore? I'm in the mall, next to the food court. The whole entire mall is shut down because the mall doesn't stay open until midnight. The only thing that's open is GameStop. Everything else, all is shut down. You're just standing in a line for 2 hours. You don't talk to anyone because everyone's socially awkward. And, you know what I'm saying? You don't know anyone there, except maybe if you bring some friends. And you're just sitting there, you know, you're just chilling. 2 hours comes up and then people start pulling out. I remember people would leave with they had this like Call of Duty collector's edition where they had like a big chest. It was like a big fucking thing, like a big loot crate looking thing. And yeah. And then I grew up, yeah, Blockbuster Games, right? Like, we grew up with this physical media being front and center. But nowadays people, you know, their games are just like digital more so than anything. That it's in Steam, right? It's on your console. It's software. They're trying to push us there as much as possible because it's just another cost-cutting measure for them. That's another detail for them. They get to save money if they don't sell the physical disc. So it's a cost-cutting measure for the games industry. And then secondly, it also makes ownership more difficult, right? Because if you don't physically own the physical thing, then you can't, you know, you have that, it's more leaning towards you having a license, right? Which is what a lot of these game companies are doing right now. You have a license to play. You don't really own this thing, which the older gamers have a big problem with, myself included. Us older gamers have a big problem with that because we used to own our games and you could play them at any point in time. You could put the game on the shelf and, you know, in 5 years from now, you could pull it off the shelf, put it in the Nintendo 64 and click play and it would work. No updates, none of that shit. It just works. Anytime you plug it in, it works. And that was cool. That was a different time, though. That was a different time, that's for sure. The video game industry have a crazy monopoly going on right now. Yeah, it's a crazy time. All right. This guy wrote, I don't know if I'm even going to read this. This guy wrote a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, an 8-page thesis on Destiny 3. I would like to introduce a project that started in late 2023. What the hell? Bro wrote out a whole thesis of this. God damn. This guy is locked in. This guy's got, here's a good example. Community lead. He's got the budgeting. Wait a second. Did he factor in for Pete Parsons' car collection here? Pete Parsons needs a car stipend. Pete Parsons at least gets to buy one new exotic car every quarter. If that's not a part of the financing, then honestly, just print it out and light it on fire, because this is worthless. Crazy, dude. Crazy. Budgeting. Imagine that. All right, let's load into the game, chat. Let's load into the game. You know what's crazy is I don't think I'll ever hit 26,000 hours in Destiny 2. I'll forever be 25,000 hours and some change. I'll never hit 26K. I'm still a blueberry. Still a noob. Pathetic. How many hours do you have playing this game? Around 3.5 hours. Nice. 5K. Nice. When do you think someone becomes a real gamer? They recently posted on the White House. They posted on the White House saying, you know, like the Donald Trump played Destiny 2 meme, right? And then they were roasting the guy saying, you're a fake. You're not a real Guardian. Right? You don't have real playtime. And then the guy was like, actually, I have played the game. And he has like 120 hours played. And then people were roasting him saying, that's not real playtime. Like 120 hours, that's nothing. It's kind of an interesting conversation, I think, which is when do you cross that boundary of being a real Destiny 2 player versus being a LARPer, right? You're a fake Guardian. When do you cross that threshold? I'm gonna go get a trials card. Fuck it. Fuck it. We're going to the goddamn lighthouse. Trials is bad this week? Dude, you better lock in, dude. Just download some aimbot. I mean, just joking. For legal reasons, that was a joke. $1,000 hours on a game I would consider? My God. You have to have at least 1,000 hours? Think about this, though. Just think about this as an example, as a thought experiment. Daruz has several thousands of hours playing Destiny, but he is still ungodly bad at the game. Like, he is so terrible at this game that it might as well be his first hour playing. Does it count? Does he still get to call himself a Guardian if he has 3,000 hours? If he's that bad? Like, think about it. Like, I don't think he should get to call himself a Guardian. Like, he has a net negative effect on the Destiny 2 player base. Because when you load into an activity and you match with a Daruz, you're going to have a bad experience. You're likely going to quit that game. Oh, he's in the chat? Oh, shit. Say it takes 10,000 hours to master anything. Yeah, if you don't have 10,000 hours in Destiny 2, you can't even call yourself a guardian. If you haven't called in sick to work because of Destiny 2, you can't even call yourself a guardian. If you haven't had 2 girlfriends break up with you because of your Destiny 2 addiction, you're not a guardian of the light. You're not a real one. If you haven't stayed in a contest raid for at least 24 consecutive hours, you're a fake guardian. Fake guardian. Not a real one. The bar is high for the Destiny 2 player. The bar is high. A Daruz makes it seem like it's a slur. I think that calling someone Daruz or something Daruz-like is potentially worse. I would find that to be the most... If someone were to say that you remind me of Daruz, I honestly don't know what would happen next. I think that whole entire bottle of vodka would be downed. That gamer vodka would be downed immediately. And I would probably be blackout drunk for at least 3 weeks just to try to suppress that memory and pretend that never happened. What are you doing, dog? You need to... What? No shot! That worked! No! Oh, bro, that's funny as hell. Drews, do you want to play more Mecha Chameleon? What the hell? Hey! Shoot this guy. Oh, dude, what is my teammate? He got the rest of it. Where's Drews at? Did I bully him off of the fucking internet? I'm trying to play Mecha Chameleon, Drews. Let's hope GTA scratched the Destiny itch a little bit properly, not the... Yeah, it won't be the same by any means. It'll just be a really good game in and of itself, you know? It'll just be its own thing, you know? Won't feel like Destiny or anything like that. But hopefully it's really good, and hopefully it you know... It cures the boredom. It deliver us from our Destiny depression. Oh my god, I died so fast. What the hell? I don't know why we kept peeking that lane. That guy has a no time. I think that no time hit me with the turret at the same time as the burst. Got fucking 2 bursts there. Nope. That's a wrap. That's all she wrote. Oh, microcosm catalyst. Let's go. What does that do? Happy about it. Very happy about it. Micro penis cat. Oh, sorry. Microcosm catalyst. Killing combatants with this weapon generates a small amount of super energy. I'm gonna shoot enemies with this. This weapon's kinetic ordnance can more easily stagger combatants and grant additional increased target acquisition and damage against low health. Oh, come. You're not supposed to add clear with this thing. Come on. Come on. That's stupid. That makes no sense. You're going to run around with a microcosm and farm the ads with your heavy weapon? An exotic heavy weapon of all things? The only upside is that if you were getting fast supers back, like super, maybe. But man, that's tough. You got to run around fucking shooting your heavy ammo at the fucking dregs. I don't know about that one, dude. I was trying to get into Warframe, but it's not doing it for me, which sucks. There's something about Warframe that it's like, it is kind of hard to get into somehow. I don't know how to describe it. But I think once you get past the early stages of it, it gets a lot better. It's like drinking coffee the first time, you know? It's not especially the best experience the first time. Somehow you drink it like 5-10 times, somewhere between the 5th coffee drink and the 10th one. Something happens to you, though. You're like, hey, you know, this is starting to wear on me. So I'd give Warframe a little bit. Give it some time. I'll go back here and help my teammates. Oh, that guy should be dead. He's up there, you little turd. I know where you're at. I know his spot up there. He thought he was going to get that spot on me. Oh, shit. Hell no. Get clapped there. Nice. That guy, is that a real person? Can't be. I think they added bots into the freaking game mode. Said fuck it. How's it going today? It is going wonderful, Disguised Horse. I hope you're doing well. What you up to? Hard to learn what to do, yeah. We're just playing a little bit of Destiny 2. What you been up to, Disguised Horse? What you up to? God damn, that was hitting hard. God damn. Kind of getting clapped out here. What the hell? Did I just get pre-fired? Excuse me? Shoot that guy. Come on, teammates. Good man. Guy's got that DMT, dude. He's got that shit unlocked. Grinding some Ron right now? What's in there? What's in the Ron? turd. Oh, that's gonna burn me out. Oh my good lord. No, what? Oh, what? I want a Rufus Fury Adept. Mmm. Nice. Aw, man, we're gonna lose power for sure. We got that shit. Oh no, it's in a different spot. Hey, that's gonna hurt. No, that was a good setup right there. That was a good setup. It kind of forced me out of that lane, and then he was just waiting with that DMT. God damn. Oh, that guy was terrible. What were you thinking? You better farm that guy. You better farm that guy. Okay, okay. Grab that power. What are you doing? Grab that power. I mean, you could res me. You know. Oh, 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 oh. That was insane. That guy literally just ran in. Alright. Damn, my teammates are good. My teammates are straight carrying me, dude. Damn. Heal up. Repeak. Really, bruh? Oh, he got one down? Alright, fuck it. Volley pin. Damn, this guy's good, dude. This guy hits his shots. But he can't beat both of us. That guy's good. The Drizz guy, that guy definitely is landing his shots. Although technically he's not doing too much in the combat efficiency, but he feels like he's playing pretty good. Every time I peek him, he fucking tags me up. Should I jump up here? I am such a troll right now, dude. I am actually trolling, dude. Oh, and I fell into a lightning grenade? Of course. I am the worst, dude. That's bad. Jumping up there is crazy, though. I can't believe you can just casually do that. You know what's even crazier? Is that they took away the fucking... They took this map away. They sunset this map and then brought it back, and there's still out of bounds glitches. That has to be the most Bungie thing ever. Peek it, you little turd. Yeah, that's what I thought. Better fucking drop down from there real quick. Oh, you're so farmed? Oh, never mind. You're actually... Oh, excuse me? What am... What the hell was that? I was mid-melee and I found God. Just like my whole screen turned white. Oh, I clicked reload at the worst time ever. I'm gonna jump up here because I'm an actual... Dude, what? I'm jumping way too much. Oh! Oh, no! Damn it. Damn it. I wanted the troll moment, but these guys are too good. They knew I was up there. They just started throwing nades up there and shit. I couldn't get that first kill, and I was so sad. I needed that first kill to land. He's got a well. He's gonna put a damn well in the zone, dog. You guys better come to the motherfucking zone, crackheads. We gotta protect the zone. Oh my god, he killed someone over here. Oh my god. Oh my god, he died. Oh, I fear for my life. No, 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 no. Oh my god, we did it. Ooh! GG's, my dudes. GG's. Alright, we're gonna play some Mecha Chameleon for a minute. If you don't know, there's this fun game that came out. Play this thing. What's good, Drews?
Hello.
Hello, hello. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Hope there's open mic. It'll be great.
The open mic was really bad last time. I'm gonna turn that off for sure. How do I turn off my mic, actually?
I think there's a button in game.
Settings,
Press B or
sound?
something, and it mutes everybody.
Text sound volume, sound effect volume, BGM volume? What is BGM?
The button in game when you get in there.
Okay, good.
On the right side, you can see.
Do I do create a server? Let's do find a server. Wait, no. Are we in the fire team
Find
together?
one.
Find one?
Nope.
Find public
Seems-
server?
Yep.
Search public servers? Which one did you pull up?
I don't know. I just saw a list.
Do you get the same list as me?
I don't
Dude,
think so.
Dude, Tristan is a chud.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that one.
Let's see.
Do you have that one?
Tristan is a chud. By joining, I might be able to join you.
Think so.
Huh.
Create server settings. I don't know if there's like a fire team thing.
I'll just join you through Steam. That works.
Did you join?
No.
You want me to click find server, find public server? I'll just
Yeah, you can find one.
I'll just find one then. This one's called Yo Section 8 Housing. All right, we'll do that one. This one's called Anal.
That's it. Yeah, man.
This is insane. This is a kid's game. We cannot be playing this. Are you joining?
Quick join on you. I don't know if that's gonna work.
Is it working? I don't think it's working.
No, I'm gonna try and join.
I'll leave then. You want me to leave?
Hold on, let me see if I can find it in the list.
It was called
There's way too many servers.
oh, I left, I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna create a server. I'm gonna create Destiny 3. You'll just have to join on this one.
No.
I like how there's people that are joining the server. Yeah, so I think since you're here, I think other people can join. Remember like a random guy joined before?
Yeah, I don't know if they joined through your chat or not.
I don't think so. I think it's just
Because
a
it was
public server.
Private.
Was it a
So
private?
if you press B, you can turn off public.
Oh, really?
No one, you won't hear them.
Oh, I pushed B. Yeah, they won't hear them anymore.
What the heck? Change stuff.
Configure map. I kind of want to go. Should we work together, like make like an object or something?
I don't know if what setting is that lets us see each other.
True.
Normally we can't see each other.
Normally we can't. Yeah, how do they do that? I like that guy's spot in Sugarland. I'm gonna steal his spot. Such a good spot. Damn it. Kind of want people to join up.
Yeah. I'm gonna post them. It's not public though. You made it private.
I don't know what to do. I don't know. User management? No. General game settings? I clicked return to title. Create server. Destiny 3, max players, North America server. Yeah, it just says create server. Yeah, I didn't say create like a private server. So I think people could join up.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can join up and then other people should be able to get in here too. What does it say? Q? Oh, who's that?
Someone's in it. Wait. Is
Wait, I clicked Q and it made that.
it, you just made them?
Yeah, I clicked Q and I made this. Click Q.
Is it power ups?
Q.
Mine's not working.
In the middle of your screen there says like space climb and then there's a button above that on the left.
Press Q.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I can press X to delete it. I think you can make your own special objects now.
Yeah. It's like decoys basically.
Yeah,
That's
you can
kinda
like
sick.
set up a fake.
Oh, that's how you can do like, yeah, you could make an object because we could like bunch up together. So that's what that's kind of what I was saying. It. All right, let's go. Let's leave here. Return to title. Let's go find a server and then let's find a. Let's just find one that's the same name. Let's click find at the same
You go,
time. Like let's do 3, 2,
well,
1.
you go find one, and you go find one, and I'll type this. I'll search it here.
Oh, you'll search it.
Yeah.
We got hot singles near you. Join. Actually, I'll do this one. This one. Oh, this one has 17 people in it. God damn. I want to do one that has a lot of spaces, so that way you can definitely get in. You know.
Hold on, what is it?
It's going to be called using mods. Oh wait, no, it has 0 out of 15. What the hell?
I think they're using mods in there. I don't think you have the mods.
20XX. Join that one. 20XX, and then it says serve.
Yeah.
You joined
That
in?
works.
Nice.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, good. Yeah, we're in here.
Nice. There's a bunch of mods for this. You get cool maps.
What happened to trials, dude? I don't know. I just wanted to play this game. This game's a lot of fun. Let me practice my paint job here. What map are we going to be at?
I don't know.
Oh, he looks crazy. Look at this guy. He's like laying flat. Oh, pose. Let's
Me?
click pose. That's you. That is you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of learning some what options are here.
What the heck is this? There's something wrong here. Oh, okay.
Hide time? Oh, shoot. All right.
There's a what? Why am I a cube?
What is the pose? Pose? Over here. We're going here. I got this. We're going here. Going here. We're going Q. Dang it. Adjust. Q. And then let's do hit a 180 degree. Damn it, that looks too good. That looks too bad. That does not look good. Gotta put my butt on this side. Wait. Yes. Paint this shit. I literally look like a freaking... Can I not paint the other decoys? Why can't I paint the decoys? What do you mean? What do you mean I can't paint the decoys? What? No. What do you mean? Oh no. What have I done? This is not good. I repeat, this is not good. This is terrible. This is worse than terrible. Fuck it. Fuck it. How do I free roam out of here? This is not gonna work. They'll never find me, dude. I look like a trash bag. Don't I? I look just like that trash bag there.
I think we're playing with mods, and I got a weird body type.
Do you really?
I'm a giant cube. It's messed up.
As long as I'm not the first to be found, I'm happy with it. I switch to free camera. 5. Oh. Free movement 4. Yes. This guy is so bad. He find one? He got one. Who was it?
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
No. Someone is just whistling.
This guy put a giant wiener on his own back? Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
People have free will.
This is bad. He has shit his pants too. There's no way. Okay. Oh, I got caught.
You got caught before me is insane.
Dude, it didn't let me paint my decoys, so I actually think this game is rigged and messed up.
Dude, that's messed up. You should see my body. Freaking huge.
What the heck? That was crazy. You looked like something else. I caught you. I
was like
found
a
you.
massive cube. You found me? I was a giant cube, man.
You didn't look like a cube. You look like
Yeah,
you look like like you were laid out in like a star shape with your head in the building.
What?
Yeah, you were laying like as if you laid flat on the ground with your legs and arms spread wide, but your head was in the building, but you were like halfway up the building. That's what you look like.
That's crazy. On my screen, I was just like a block man.
Huh. Hunters win. That sucks that I can't paint. You can make these 2 decoys, but I can't paint them. If I could paint them, it'd be perfect.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what let me pick my body type there, but please let me change it. You didn't get a prompt to change your body type? We started?
Change your body type? I don't know.
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, it
Oh,
does
you
give me.
press tab. What the heck?
No,
Oh,
it just
no.
gave me the option right now.
Yeah.
I can go
Careful, you
1.4, 1.7. I don't want to be huge.
Yeah, I was giant. Oh, I'm a hunter.
Oh, I'm still in that good
That's nice.
spot. I'm for sure still in that good spot.
Let me pull up Lucky's stream really quick.
This spot is elite.
Oh, I can pay myself.
Dude, the spot. This is actually peak. No one finds me. You can't find me if you get caught either.
I'm hunting.
Are you hunting really?
I'm gonna find you.
Oh, just find me last then. Why is it painting me this color? Ah,
Alright.
really? Oh, that
Dude,
cheese
I
spot? Yeah, that
spawned
cheese
in.
spot. Yeah, of
I
course,
just
that guy
spawned
was
in
there.
looking at.
That wasn't me. That was someone else. Oh, wait, did he leave the game? Damn, he didn't even bother to hunt?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
I stole that spot that's on the side of the cake, so you can't shoot me. But let's see if they can actually even find me. I'm on that side of the cake. Remember that last guy on that last one we did? That
Oh,
spot.
that's unfair.
Yeah. I want to see if they can find me though.
Alright.
You go find me? Let's stand right here. Oh no!
Dude, you do
Oh
not. I think I
no! He
see.
found me!
Yeah.
He
You are
found
not
me!
hidden well.
Damn it! I
I can
couldn't
see
paint
you.
myself very well. I don't know why I couldn't.
I
That sucks.
just walked around the corner and went, "Oh no, that's not you, is it?" And then he blasted you in the face.
Yep. Damn it. Someone whistling over here?
I like the forced whistle.
So much time on the clock? Like, there's no way we don't win. Like, there's too much time on the clock, I think, for this type. Damn, that guy climbed up really high. I got him. There's 2 people left? Really?
Yeah.
Really whistled all the way over there? Yeah, it says next update in 20 seconds, so I think they make you whistle after the time.
Yeah.
They force a whistle out of you. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like forced whistle kind of sucks because then it like, you know, it pulls people out of the fucking thing. Wow, I heard 2 whistles. The last 2 guys are on this side of the map somewhere. One is like to my left, one's to my right, which is interesting. I don't know where the hell these guys are at, actually. Oh, not right now. Thank you, though. You should put it down there. It'll be fine. Where are these guys at?
No clue. I think they're up high. Yeah, on those clouds.
I don't think you can get on those clouds, right? Can you? The stand up. There's no way. Can you get up on those clouds? Did you try?
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's stand over here somewhere in 5 seconds. Listen for this whistle. Listen for this. It's really close to me. It's really close to me.
Yeah.
The hell? Where is this guy?
Oh. Found him.
Where was he?
Yeah, he's right up in here.
Up in there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We got 23 seconds to find this next guy. I think stand over here, like stand over in where I'm at, and you'll hear the whistle pretty good here. In this area, yeah, you're gonna hear it pretty good in 7 seconds. Oh, it's far away actually. Kind of over here more. Oh, I found him.
Oh.
He was in here. I think he did it. Oh, he's a
What?
what?
It was a
Pretzel.
I was looking for that.
That's crazy. He did the perfect pretzel. That's insane. Is this Destiny 3? This is technically the Destiny 3 server, I think. Oh no, my engine started. I gotta head out though.
Yep.
Gotta eat for dinner. Sorry, I just cut it short, but appreciate you, bud. I'll see you in GCX.
See you. Yep. Oh, it's gonna be that long. Jeez.
Yep. Not too much longer. Peace. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, chat. I'm heading out for the night. Thank you for the follows, the subs, the bits, the donations. Thank you for spending your time here. We give a shout out to everyone that subscribed today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We had a great day. We covered a ton of really interesting content in the Destiny world. Reflex, thank you for the tier 1 in 14 months. Later, Disguise Horse. Good night, everyone. I'll see you back.